Ba-doop-a-doo! Nobody there for that one, yep. Perfect.
Calling Mr. Culture. Mr. Culture. You have a telephone call at the front desk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mad Martigan, are you there? Mad Martigan? I guess not. Yeah, you can get the second one. Or go harmony with me. Right now. Nice. Ooh, excuse me. I like that. Enjoy the silence.
When you wake up in the morning and your pants feel full, that's the dump.
Oh, shit.
When you got news and you just wanna snooze, that's the dump.
Yeah. Reverberate and listen. Scott is back with a brand new edition. Dumping every Saturday. Don't know who's showing up. What? Because it's not
Every Saturday nightly.
Nightly. Damn it, that was good. I should have done that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Dump. My name is Scott. This is your Saturday, Friday night tights with diversity usually. But,
Nobody's here.
Nobody's here. We do have a guest tonight. Somebody who, did he crack 500,000 subs? No. 1 million subs? No. He cracked a golden number. 500 subs. His name is Storyman Jack, everyone.
Nice.
Hello.
That's a big freaking deal, Storyman.
Yeah, it is, especially since I've gone like a couple months without any content because of the fire.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like 15 stories into the Halloween thing, so I'll make it to 31 stories this year.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on 500. And then we got Macklyn Draws for $2 super sticker. He hit 1,000. I'm going to have to talk to Macklyn about coming on a Saturday night in August. So Mock, let me know what Saturdays you have all open in August, and I'll try to squeeze you in on one because Mock is an OG. He hasn't, I revamped my channel, and the way it came up is Saturday. I have like a set panel and it doesn't work out with his schedule. And now that I got my set panel, like this is the lineup. And I always wanted him on my Wednesdays, but he was working, and I love Macklyn. And Macklyn deserves all the praise, all the monetary, and all the glory. That dude is talented. Subscribe to Macklyn Draws. Subscribe.
And he works really hard at it.
Real hard, dude. Beautiful artwork. I mean, both of you guys are talented creators, talented artists, and I am glad to be able to call you guys friends.
Yeah, I got a little story about that actually. Last night
please.
I was calling Tim Pool out on something. I sent him a super chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I use metaphors when I speak to people like that.
Right.
And they talked more about the metaphor I used than the actual point I made.
So what was the metaphor?
That, you know how he routinely calls out cops for not quitting their jobs and stuff, and even though they've got kids and families and all that stuff. But every time YouTube grunts, he jumps like an apoplectic toad.
Yep. And that's what they got stuck on?
Yeah, I mean, Ian actually really liked that metaphor and went on about it. But what was funny was that he made several really good points, and so I kind of waver in between his point and mine. You know,
I'm a fan of Tim Pool, and I would love to ever be on his podcast.
That's the thing. He didn't insult me for doing it. He just explained his point of view, and
that's what he does.
It brought me a little bit closer to his side of the
that's situation. What I like about him, but I have felt like on certain things he is a little like in the middle somewhere. He gets wishy-washy. He has very strong views on certain things. Other ones he doesn't take views, and those middle ones, it depends on the person he's speaking to that week. You know, and that happens to a lot of people. You see Joe Rogan change his view on stuff. We're all growing. We all learn. We all change. But it's like, you got to realize if you're doing it, others are allowed to do it.
But I thought it was funny that my first thought after they started talking about the metaphor was like, thank God I got it that part at least.
Right. And we have, thank you for being here. Thank you, Makini. Thank you, Tom from Midnight's Edge. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Midnight's Edge Radio. Midnight's Edge Radio 2. Midnight's Edge Espanol. And soon to be Midnight's Edge what? Sporking? Midnight's Edge?
Shawarma.
I like that. I like it. So, how
you was kind of good.
Yeah, man, kind of good. It was that. Listen, that Avengers movie wasn't perfect, but damn, it was good. I remember watching that in the theaters and being like, they're never going to be able to put all these major characters together and keep a fun.
I discovered a couple of shows that are actually well made and not really that woke or anything.
What's that?
Recently, one is called
Married with Children.
The Old Man.
I've heard of it.
And it's
Bridges.
Old CIA agent gets pulled back in. It's pretty good. I like the misdirection and the stuff that goes on in it. But it's spy stuff. And then the In Between Man.
I haven't heard that one.
It's about a hitman, basically, in Australia. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool, man. I'll have to check that one. FX, you said?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Right.
They're both on Hulu.
I will take a look. I love Hulu. Who knew? So let's say hi to the chat real quick. I see just another red shirt out there. Hi, chat. Someone help me out. One of it's a someone who's always in the chat now, but I can never, and tweets and stuff like that. Sanora Baptiste. Is that close enough? Is anybody going to help me with that? No? Okay. Thanks for being on the show, everybody.
Sanora Baptiste?
So say it again?
Baptiste.
Is that like French? Or
Senora Baptiste.
Oh, female bath enthusiast.
Lady
bath enthusiast. I like that. Gap After Dark. What's up, my friend? Eric K is in the house as always. One of the great mods out there. Matt W. We have everybody out there now has, for the most part, are Sporking News members because Eric K and Toxic Manflu and George and all these amazing people keep gifting them. So they literally are paying for my flight to Orlando. So thank you guys. I love you. I meant to do a stream today, but family, ice cream, kids crying. It was a lot of fun today.
I forgot about this one. I just woke up.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something in the chat because I also forgot I said to come on because I am terrible about that. Gap After Dark says, that Sporking News podcast, I guess we're never going to get a member stream like you're never going to get a new... Oh, you son of a... We got a member stream last week. There was a member stream last week. Jack was on it.
We did.
We will have one hopefully next Saturday. I don't know if I am, though. I think it's going to be, actually, I'm going to either have Mad, most likely Culture run the show, or Tom, maybe. Because I think I'm going to have a Mrs. Spork and, Dad night.
Gotta keep Mama happy.
She's the one that's letting me to go to Florida for 4 or 5 days by myself. Married with 3 kids, little kids, that's a big deal. We got 29 people watching, including 16-bit mascot. LG3, hail, my friend. How are you doing? I love your avatar. One-man show who hates everything I talk about and supports me more than most people out there, so I love you. Southern Belle. Bella. I love you. Dragon Master 360 was on our stream last week. He was there. Got him, I think, on a Street Smuts because he showed up on my stream, so that was pretty cool. Monkey Jeebus is always in the house. Soul Assassin, the Spork mod of Spork mods. Who else do we have? Close enough. Thank you. I appreciate that. Matt is always there. E. Clay Thomason with a 99-cent. Is it poop or is it popcorn? It is ice cream. Chocolate ice cream. Soft serve, I believe. Brett Sanders, as always, is in the chat. Thank you, my friend. And I love seeing this dude right here commenting. Commenting is dangerous. Rarely gets to catch us live, so I appreciate that. Yeah, you did pay for your before, so I'm cool with that. And I'm cool with gifts. I'm cool with anything. I'm cool if you guys don't become my members. I just love that people show up to listen to us. 42 people right now are watching. So thank you guys. Time Prophet, all you guys. We're going to get into some stories. Guys, there's going to be a Doctor Doom, I'm hearing, in the Marvel Universe.
I did kind of say that was happening, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I thought I did.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, Tom, because you're here.
Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. I got yelled at by somebody for doing that.
I remember that. And I like that you say things because I know you hear the real deal. So I say my sources, and really all I'm doing is repeating what you say. But I sound cool saying it because somebody really does know something.
So I've not been satisfied with a version of Doctor Doom on the screen yet. So
I don't think anybody has.
I mean,
sadly, the best one we've gotten was the one from the Corman movie that never got finished or released.
I still haven't seen that Doctor Doom. I got to check that movie out. The 90 whatever.
It's really corny because they never got to finish his voice. Mm-hmm. So like in the movie, like you hear the guy talking from underneath the mask. Right. It's just temp audio. So he's like,
gotcha.
Oh, get the Fantastic Four. I was like, so it's kind of cheesy as fuck, but he looks like Dr. fucking Doom. I mean,
yeah.
Like if you added like some booming shit on it, like, get me the Fantastic Four.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like then it would have been bitching as hell, you know? Like,
and Gadget.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.
Small Time was on our. That was awesome. Small Time was at our chat last week, right?
I usually have a cat in my lap.
Small Time, you were at the chat last week, right? Who wants to deplatform Fandom Menace now? Nina? Well, Nina, it's do you remember rewriting Ripley? That was a name that we all kind of remember from like a few years ago.
What Ripley are they actually rewriting?
I've been wondering that for so long, dude.
Yeah, I mean, because we actually hold Ripley up as one of the strong female characters we like.
Right. And I think that's why they want to rewrite. You know what? We're going to start with that because Nina's in the chat, and I'm honored that she showed up in my chat. Thank you, Nina.
You should send her a link.
Nina usually can't do Saturdays, so I don't want to make her feel bad, but I'm going to send her a link anyways.
I don't care. I'll make her feel bad. You
Okay.
should be in here, Nina.
This is like her one night to do anything.
I know, probably.
But I love Nina, so she rocks and lets me come on her channel, even though for like 2 years I would say, I'll be there, and never showed up, and she never took away that right. So I will always love Nina for that. Mr. Grant Gregory,
she's
I love.
One of the sweetest people around. So.
She really is. And she gets shit from so many people.
Yeah. She even gives Jay a run for his money.
Jay is fake. He's like, oh, I'll rub your shoulders, Scott, but he didn't put enough pressure on the left one, and I was a little pissed off. So I was like, oh, wow. And he's like, I'm sorry, let me get you an ice cream. I'm like, and he brings back like vanilla, and I'm like, without sprinkles? What a dick.
Yeah, he's got that Gina money. He can afford sprinkles.
Yeah, he does. Or as they might call them, jimmies, or shots as we call them around where I am. Mr. Grant Gregory for Australian $2. I'll be there in about 20 minutes, guys. Thanks.
We're all waiting for the good to arrive, Nino. I think we're going to be waiting for a while.
Yeah, right. So
she means food, I think, but yeah.
Oh, well, food is good. And Nina, I know that. So if you're just listening, that makes me happy. So I appreciate it. Calling out hate in fandom isn't enough. We must deplatform it. Rewriting Ripley
Are we
said.
Surprised by this? We knew this
Not
was coming. I mean, this is what we heard from Tug about what Amber Heard was up to.
Yes.
Right? Like her whole goal was if she had won, she was going to use that
to get rid of us.
To get rid of a lot of us. Yeah, to deplatform a lot of us. And this is the same thing. I knew this was coming. I warned people this, like, again, I'm not sorry to do this whole.
Does anybody really take this stuff seriously anymore, though?
I do to a point, because when they did this last time, they did this fucking bubble map chart thing, and they threw all kinds of people into random fucking groups.
I didn't make any of them.
And just the idea, the thing is they're like, because then when you would call them on it, they would be like, well, why are you so worried about being in that group? And it's like, well, because you motherfuckers are the ones making that group basically the same as Yahtzee's. That's why. Yeah.
And you know, I have to say, Nina put that out there. The Fandom Menace isn't even a thing anymore, but
Not really.
It is. To me, it always will be
a collection of people.
It always has been that, though. But like this idea of what they think the Fandom Menace is gone. Like, but the truth is, like, I'll always think of everyone that we, from the first waivers down to like the fifth and even sixth waivers, the people that came in when Jack came in after, and you know, I always will consider those people Fandom Menace. Or Fellowship. I like Fellowship better. I like the name.
I mean, I was the original Fandom Menace, right? Like back in
yes, you were. Yeah.
I was there along.
I was
with all
so
that other
disappointed
shit.
with the first prequel film that it was a traumatic thing, and I was on chat boards and stuff, and so yeah, that was the original Fandom Menace.
I said we bring it back. Hashtag
But
TFM, everybody.
Here's the problem with
now
it.
those movies have grown on me over time.
Well,
Disney
there's
stuff
the problem,
won't.
right?
Right.
It was punny at the time because of the Phantom Menace.
Right.
Now it has a moniker to it that I don't like because it has a negative connotation with the menace aspect.
Right.
And again, it goes along with there are certain groups, and even if you're part of these groups, I apologize for bringing them into it, but there are certain groups who are, pushing the limits of fandom right now. I'm not going to say that they're not. I'm not going to specifically name any of them, but, like,
no, Scott.
you got your Snyder cut quit. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
But no, like, but I mean, even Star Trek fans are in like, I called it a state of shock because they've gotten to a point where it's almost like Stockholm syndrome, right? Like, I hear everybody saying, "Oh, you can like Strange New Worlds. It's good as long as you just forget about everything else." I'm like, yeah, that's like brainwashing, motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, and then when you take a hero to many of these people like Picard, and do what they did to him, and then it's like they feel betrayed on top of it. So it's.
I hear you guys on that. Paulie, I'm sending you a link, buddy, if you want to jump on. There is no Matt Martigan here.
Paulie.
Because for the longest time, that character was not political at all.
Which one? Sorry.
Picard.
Oh,
Picard.
now
Yeah,
all he is. That's all he is
Right.
now. It's disgusting, man.
Yeah.
What they did they literally killed him, took away his soul, and put him in a golem. Like,
I mean, Patrick Stewart's. I mean, one of the great things about him was that his favorite show was Beavis and Butthead.
right. Not anymore,
and-
though. I could tell you. I want this. Everybody use that. Hashtag Sporking Menace. I like that. Yeah, no. What bothers me about this, Jack, is that the weak, and artists are weak. I don't give a crap what, not like you guys, like Hollywood artists are weak. They have sucked off the teat, bent the knee, did anything they needed to do pretty much to get into film and get to that level that they're at. And to get there and stay there, they are just so used to following party lines. That if you're real quick, if you're conservative, you literally have to hide it and meet in like secret. That is disgusting to me, man.
But they don't even know what conservative is.
Right.
Like, I'm a writer. Do you think I'm not kind of liberal leaning?
Right. We all are socially.
I have 2 degrees.
Yeah.
I've lived in college for several years.
Right.
Oops. I'm just more libertarian now because I see that people just want to take advantage of that heartfelt wanting to reach out and help people kind of liberalism.
Well, let's get to this article real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to see what this 2 to 3 year behind article is all about. But first, Eric K says for $5, and I think he means Nina. If you all only knew, Nina is evil. She wears a small bikinis, then throws a cover up on.
Well, it's kind of warm down there where she is.
Yeah. Well, people like that. Some people are dicks, Tom. That's true. It is. You get like, she's one of those people that wears, like jeans in 90-degree weather, probably. Like, like people in Florida that live there year round. I don't know how the hell they did it.
Well, I don't wear shorts at all. I live in Texas, and so
I love shorts. I wear them like up until like snow.
I'm old and I have ugly legs, so
I got beautiful calves. I get told that all the time. All right, so we're gonna get into this article, which was only written on the 28th, so 2 days ago. This article contains information about and mentions of white nationalist groups, racism, misogyny, anti-Semites or Semitism, and sexual assault. Oop, I gotta let you in. I'm the only one here. What up, brother?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, it's always good to see you, Mark. With a C, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm up in the house.
Yes. I love having you here. So, hey, brother, we're talking about this article from Rewriting Ripley, calling out hate and fandom isn't enough. We must deplatform it. And it's really an attack on the old premise of the Fandom Menace, what people thought it was, just regurgitated. But I didn't read any of this. But this is like the disclaimer right here. I want to know what you think of it, Mark, after I read it. This article contains information about and mentions of white nationalist groups, racism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, I can never say that, sexual assault, including quotes and descriptions about grapes, children abuse, body shaming, hate speech, and racist harassment. Who the hell is this person talking about?
Well, this person is using the equivalent of a 6-year-old calling another 6-year-old a dumb head.
Yep.
It's
vicious,
meaningless. It's meaningless.
Yes.
Everything that they just said is meaningless now because they use it for everything.
We know that. But like Mark, the mainstream person that runs across this, what do you think? They see that and they're like, who the hell are the people they're talking about?
Yeah, I think the mindless drones out there are probably incapable of critical thinking, so they're not going to do their own investigation. So a lot of these people, they won't go any further than their computer screen.
Right.
And they'll just believe it, because I know in the comment section of my videos, I get a lot of those. The mindless drones who come in, and I know what they're reading because I read what they're reading too. And when they start like parroting those talking points, I'm like, okay, you read that article too. But see, they come in very passionate, very emotional, ready to choke you with it.
Ready to fight somebody who's not fighting them.
Yeah, and you're putting that argument on me. And how like incredibly ridiculous is it to be a black man in today's day and age and someone call you a white supremacist? You know what I mean? Just because of your talking points. But that's what we have going on here. And it's dangerous because there are some people out there, who subscribe to that dangerous way of thinking and everything. And if you just throw that out there indiscriminately, then you can no longer differentiate between what is and what isn't. Right. All of these things that they're talking about,
Right.
Hey,
Nina, like people like yourself, Nina, Jane, the guys on the Dark Council, you take a different type of attack than we do. Us bald-headed white males. I get things thrown at me that I'm just used to now. And dude, I know I'm a jokester and stuff, but like, I couldn't imagine what you guys go through, because I could never imagine people I've known from my past that have seen like videos that we've done and talked about and then read articles calling me like, what happened to you? You turned into a racist? Like, what? Like, I decided at the age of 46 to just, my whole life I've been cool with everybody, but I hate people that are black now. Like that's so dumb to me.
Then the other, on top of that, you try to educate them and they won't listen. Like I'm
it makes
like
it worse.
98% Irish. And I have a ancestor that came over from Ireland as an indentured servant. Well, it was not the same, but it ended up being the same because the way that worked was it paid for supposedly they were supposed to work off their debt from coming over here, from getting them shipped over here, but rent was always more than they earned.
Right.
So they never got out of their indentured servitude.
Right.
I worked with an Irish brother, on the job, and he would always tell me that. He'd always tell me stories about that. And, he sent me like reading material, and it was an eye opener because the way it is in this country, they'll have you believe that just one group, of the day, whatever it is that they want to identify is going to be your victim. That's it. Nobody else has any experience with anything else. And that ignorance is what keeps us from getting to know one another. That's what's given rise to, white privilege. You know what I mean? It's like, if you ever got to know people and listen to people, then you realize that no one is privileged based solely upon race. If it's a class thing, it's a class thing. But I've known plenty of black people who have lived in the biggest house in town, and I've known white people who have lived in shacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that
when
whole concept.
when I was a kid, there was a
Paulie.
in the 80s during the recession in the 80s, we once lived in a house for 6 months without a floor.
People go through hard times.
Dad had to build a floor in it before we could get the furniture up off just sand.
People, you're right.
Yeah.
What's up, Paulie? What do you think that is, buddy?
Paulie.
What do I think? What is? Oh,
this
God,
photo.
This is old Jim Crow.
Close. That's what a lot of people would think, but it is not. It's actually before Jim. Well, it is. Jim Crow was going through this time. This is a depiction of an Irish person,
Right.
that moved over to America. This is how they felt the Irish word. They made them subhuman. And that's what I was going to ask you as you came in. Paulie from Latino Slant, one of another gentleman who is of I don't want to be disrespectful. Latin descent. How do I say that?
I'm a Chicano.
You're a Chicano. I love that freaking term, dude. That is so cool. Chicano. I just want to be able to say it. My friend.
Yeah. I mean,
Paulie?
when I say like Latino, like that means like I'm part of that Spanish speaking community. That maybe there's people in Puerto Rico or Mexico or South America, like our friends on Midnight Edge Español. But I myself, they say, sangre mexicana, like our bloodline, whatever, is Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
But since I was not born and raised in Mexico, my experience as an American is Chicano. I would equal like being a Cajun or being a being a New Yorker or different parts of the country. Mm-hmm.
Right. See, my question is this: Do you see the racist attacks, like the things they say to Jane, the things they say to Mark? Do you get stuff like that because you are part of Midnight's Edge, or friends with people like Gary from Nerdrotic and stuff like that, and Geeks and Gamers? Do you get any hatred? Because you're like one of the nicest people I think I've ever been able to communicate with through YouTube.
Great man.
Well, truthfully.
I'm not friends with Tom. Let's just be very clear with that first.
Right. Lovers, whatever you meant. I know.
Jesus.
I mean, I love Tom. I mean,
Yes.
he's a great dude. I'll joke.
I mean,
aside.
Paulie and the other guys have never said they have had any specific issues. I mean, the girls deal with, like, Nina's in the chat and she can probably confirm or deny. Like, they all get their fair share of creepy motherfuckers who send them dick pics and shit like that.
Oh no, I've seen some hate stuff that Nina, like just in her tweets.
Yeah. But as far as like racist stuff towards these guys, the problem is I don't know if. Well, this is a conversation we have more than often. Is like they consider you guys white. That's the problem.
Right. So when we have discussions on certain issues, if we're not, talking about it from a certain indigenous purview, we're called we have the colonized mind. We're white Latinos. We're anti-black. Hey, Mark, I'm anti-black.
Oh wow, that's a thing.
So I've been called everything, and I've also been called a Hispanic Karen. I mean, but
has anybody ever called any of you guys a Mitch, a male bitch, a Mitch?
No, but I'm going to use that.
Right? Isn't that great?
I never got that one.
One of the guys at work was like, "You're such a Mitch." I'm like, "What is that?" I'm sorry to interrupt you, Paulie, but I was like, I'm using that on YouTube. Go ahead, buddy. I actually am going to mute for a second. I'll be right back. Paulie, guys, talk. I'll be back.
You know what it is, in my case, is that I challenge Black people a lot on my channel, and some people really do misunderstand that. I challenge them to not be used, by these industries and studios and things. Don't be weaponized or allow yourself to be weaponized and then settle for substandard representation, Well,
let me put something this way. The thing, like from a writing perspective, because that's what I do, this is what I write. It is important for a storyteller to invite and consider different perspectives, even ones that are crazy or idiotic, because without bad ideas as well as good ones, you cannot tell the truth about humanity, because in some ways we're very simple creatures, but in others we're very complex. And that's what people don't understand. It's not, people want to simplify the things that can't be simplified. And
our experience is just different. So,
well, here's another side of it is like
very different that none of us will experience. And I experienced that, with certain topics, we get certain reactions, and that's just it. I don't want to spend every day on my channel discussing racial topics. That's for sure.
Right.
But they do come up, and I feel for myself, the slant, not Midnight's Edge, the slant is suited for it.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm greatly entertained. Well, I'm also from Texas. I grew up, Dad taking me every Sunday to a place where a little old Mexican lady was making just the best Mexican food in the planet, and she would all call us, tell us how we stole Texas from them, and we would just nod our head and eat her fabulous food.
I mean, legally,
that's, we did,
but that's part of our history, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of the American tapestry, and it is what it is. Well, here we are all together, right?
One side of it, as far as the cultural difference or the racial difference, let's say, one thing I've noticed specifically, and I'm sure Paulie has a few feelings about this, especially in the wake of the canceling of Gardito.
Incredible.
Like, here's the thing: is they love to use culture and race to boast about shit. Like, for instance, Wakanda Forever. Now, if we were to say something, if we were to say something about Namor right now, we'd be called racist. But yet, these are the same people who are canceling shows like that. What's the entire title? Sorry,
it's an HBO Max show called the Gordita Chronicles.
Gordita Chronicles. Thank you.
10 episodic comedy that I love.
But it's basically set in the 80s.
Family, right?
From the perspective of an immigrant family. Yeah. And it got zero notice, and it got canceled already, but yet Batwoman gets 3 fucking seasons.
How many seasons did it get, Paulie?
That's it. It's gone.
What?
40 days.
It's done.
That's done.
Wow.
And
I bet you'll get
they just did that. They just did that to all those actors of color and just.
Well, more importantly, Storyman, the creators, the writers who wrote some. I mean, these are some funny ass episodes.
Yeah.
And this is now, Scott, the second show this year that they. It's like, why even produce it? Why even entice us? Why even try to like?
Is that rhetorical? Because it was in the moment, right?
I just can't believe these executives have lost their mind enough to sabotage their own companies like this.
But see, Jack, this is they don't care. Okay, so there was that, the push for Asian representation, Latin representation. So we'll give them a couple shows. It didn't work out. Well, unlike almost every CBS sitcom, we give them at least 3 seasons. We're just going to pull it. Almost everything you give at least 3
Batwoman is a perfect example because that show barely had 300,000-400,000 people watching.
It got worse and worse.
And it got worse and worse.
I couldn't even make it through a quarter of an episode.
Yeah, that's my point. Is nobody was watching it, but that show was protected as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. And but yeah, you have lost money.
And it's interesting though, because Gordita was executive produced by Latinx women, which is
what's her face from
Eva Longoria and Zoe Saldana.
Yeah. And Zoe Saldana.
You don't get more gatekeeper than that,
right?
And again, and this is the second. This is a quality original show. The second one this year, gone.
And it was about family, right?
And I'm sure, Mark, you never heard about it, right?
And I saw the trailer for it, only because Paulie brought it up to me, and the few people I know that saw it adored it.
Yeah. I heard about it this morning, right before Paulie's tweet. Right before Paulie's tweet.
And they actually have a great dad. I mean,
There's your problem.
No, I don't know, because it just wasn't. It was about it's about this little chubby girl, right? And
yeah,
she's
it was kind of like the Goldbergs. It felt like, as far as like the being set in the 80s and all that kind of stuff with the families thing, but it come culturally from the idea of this is immigrant family coming to Miami.
Don't we need more of that?
Well,
I want more of that.
Sure, right? So that representation side of me is happy, but what makes me happier, more proud, is that.
It was good.
That the story just brings everyone in. It's like sharing your food. It's like, fuck, this is a great, like, the difference between that little lady's food and Taco Bell. Sorry, Tom.
No, I totally get it.
Well, the last
but no,
time I
the
went-
point is it didn't have this political movement to it, right? It wasn't like Batwoman, so it didn't need to be protected. They didn't need to protect it because it's not pushing along their agenda.
It's just
not helping that. It's just a show that was good. It was what it was, and
really good.
Are they so much concerned for this message over their money? I mean,
Well,
look
that's
how
what
much
HBO
money
says, is
Disney's
that they're-
lost.
Yeah, that the HBO, they're moving away from family programming. It's
Yeah,
like,
they said that. They stated
is
that.
fucked up.
How messed up is that, man? Listen, this is what I find ridiculous. I don't care, and don't take this wrong, but I don't care that it's a Latin family. I don't care. I love that it's a family. And I love, on top of that, I love seeing different cultures. So like the best part of Miss Marvel was when the family was interacting. The dad was such a great dad. The mom was a protective mom, but then opened up towards the end. Like that was the only story I was watching when I was trying to keep up on that because other people were reviewing it. Like I actually love the family dynamic of an Afghani family. I love seeing Pakistani, excuse me. Oh Jesus, I'm getting canceled. But no, you're right. It's Pakistani. Big difference. But I like seeing different cultures. You know, the Latin ones too. Those people.
Absolutely.
Why is Nina giving me? Nina's giving me shit.
Well, because it's Nina. Come on. What's she saying?
She's like Latinx poly. I'm like, no. She's like, no.
Yeah, so
He did say that though.
I was in a conversation with my wife earlier. I wrote a story I was going to release either today or tomorrow that is a Western.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And the protagonist is a Union soldier who grew up in the South and burned his father's plantation and married an ex-slave house girl. And they bounty hunt. And she's like, how are you going to do that and not offend anybody? Because you have to do the voice. Yeah. And I'm like, I just be offended. If you're offended, I'm sorry, but be offended.
Yeah.
I can't not tell the truth.
This is it right here. How families act around the dinner table is what I like to see on TV nowadays. You know what's one of my favorite shows? I've only watched like 4 or 5 episodes. My wife got me into it. Is and it just slipped out my mind. On Apple, it's a football coach that becomes a soccer head coach over in England. Oh my God. Somebody in the chat, help me out. He was a football coach and he gets set up to, he's coaching a soccer team. It's such a good freaking show. And it's all about a positive coach. Ted Lasso. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. And
Still haven't seen that show. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Just the positive coach that won't let, at least from what I've seen so far, won't let anybody get him down. It's all about coaching people to make them better human beings.
So now, and I think Mark, you hear me out on this one. Now the community, like the Latino Hollywood community, is like, we got a campaign, we got to find the show a home, creators of shows like Lincoln Lawyer, like who's a Latina, we gotta save it. And then the argument comes up, why is it that you hear about this show because of the campaign? You never hear about the fucking show before and during its run. You always hear about it when the Latino community is trying to fight for it or save it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just
why do we get to that
man.
part though? Yeah, you're right. There's not the support we need, but threaten. That's why I don't understand why executives don't be like, we're thinking about leak it out that we're gonna maybe get rid of this show and then see who will watch the season and catch it back up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It bothers me, but
I don't know, bro.
What do you think, Mark? Like seeing a positive father, a positive role model on TV. We don't see enough of that anymore, Mark. Like, and now you want to get rid of, it doesn't matter the culture, just positive family, interaction. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty well known that when you take the father out of the picture, the children's chances of being incarcerated, dropouts, early pregnancy, all of that creeps in. So to me, it seems to be a no-brainer. So in the context of that, how we got the concept of toxic masculinity just tells me how wicked this culture is. you know, because when you want to attack the male presence, the very male presence, just simply being a male and all the things that come with it, yeah, we can be aggressive, we can be offensive, you know, we can be crude and everything. But if you're a good man, then all of that comes with it, and also a conscience. So we never get too far with it. You know, we got a good heart and everything.
It's been a slow war on fathers since the late 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been going on for a long time, man. Real quick. I'm sorry, Jack. 94 people watching. Hit that like button. Let's get over 100 people watching and 100 likes. It's a Saturday, man. This is our average now. I want to get to 150. Great. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on Saturdays now because of great people like Mark and Tom and Jane and Rhino, because he talks too much, but still Rhino and
Storyman.
Storyman's a guest tonight because he hit 500 subs. Oh, nice. Culture and Machismo and sometimes Toxic and Mr. Grant Gregory. It's like a rotating group of just that core, and I love it. I freaking love it. But, you know, I love having you guys on, too, because you're my friends.
But I've said in my videos for a long time, I've said in my videos for a long time that, you know, white males should have looked at what happened to black males in the 70s and 80s to see what was going to be coming for you in the 90s and the 2000s. Mm-hmm. All right, because the black male presence was attacked back then. You know, we were demonized. The welfare state creeped in. It was more, I guess, beneficial, you know, for a lot of women to keep, you know, on their own and to keep the black man out. Just about every song that was out was about doing it on my own. Mm-hmm. I can do bad by myself.
Yeah.
Know, and
to the left. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't you ever get to thinking you're irreplaceable? Yep. Right. You know, all of that has been an attack on the black male in the home for a long time, and now the black community is pretty much a matriarchy, you know, where everyone's always talking about my mama. You know, whenever you get a sports jock on and he gets signed to a sports team, you can be sure that they're gonna run the story. I owe it all to my mama. My mama, I'm gonna buy my mama a house and get her up out of the hood. That's all good and everything.
Like Usher, right?
Yes. Like, I mean, there's a million examples of this. You know what I mean? But because you don't value your young boys, and you don't.
And that's been going on so long that it's been happening since civil rights. I mean, because I grew up watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my best friend who was African American, his mama helped raise me, and it was kind of a joke. Oh, you got a black mama? She gonna slap? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I can tell you.
I want Mark to finish that thought. Finish that thought, please. Sorry about that, Paulie.
So I made a few videos now talking about the absence of T'Challa in Black Panther and how important it was to have that character.
Wonderful videos.
And more than thank you. And more than anything, I got black people coming in just cussing me out, you know, all the time. What do you mean? You know, women can do it. You know, how come it can't be a role model for young girls? It's Black Panther. That's the reason why. You know what I mean? So it's like you have certain things for certain people. So why are you pushing back so hard against maintaining this traditionally, historically black character? Well, Suri wore the costume. Look, Black Panther is T'Challa, okay? He's been that way for the majority of the time, and it's in the run of the character.
I hate that shit, Mark, when they do that shit. It's like, no. You're not going to pull this crap on me about shit that came in comics in 2015, right? There's 50 fucking years of comics that came before that mean a hell of a lot more to me than your modern bullshit. And it's the same thing that they can't have a straight white male either, right? And then you're sitting there, oh, you've got plenty of characters. Where? We got Thor. That's it. What's up?
He's a bumbling idiot.
Fuck out of him.
He's a bumbling idiot.
Let me tell you something. I got my son has friends of like every race and persuasion, and they all come over here. And I've seen these some of these young little white kids who look exactly the same as some of these black kids that I see in the hood at this point. You know, they don't have a father. They're nervous. You know, I remember one kid just standing there I'm like, what are you doing with your hands? You know, he's just so nervous. You know, he's got so many emotional things going on, you know, and people have to start looking out specifically for these young boys. And saying that doesn't mean, well, what about the girls? Well, of course, you look out for the girls too. But I'm just saying, you know, they each have their specific needs.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's a war on boys right now. It just does.
Well, no, it's not just a war on boys. It's a war on masculinity. So boys are not allowed to show
the
a
traditional
masculine
family and all that kind of business.
But being a traditional male
is right.
Which is
the root of it is in teaching your men how to grow up to be men. and your women how to grow up to be women. And yes, not everybody is going to follow that path, but the reason the world was structured that way is because guess what? It was the fucking majority, and it still is. And there's a reason why it works. Sorry,
on that majority, right? You're good. The deeper you go into these people's cultures, you're gonna get a bigger backlash.
Yeah.
Like with the Latino community, resoundingly, there's no argument, there's no discussion. It's like a 95%.
They stick to their canon, right?
We just don't use that word.
Right.
And then San Diego Comic-Con tried to throw that at the Filipino community. 3 times they said it in one sentence. Filipinx. They got shitted on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was an ugly,
shitted
thing.
On.
Yeah.
By Filipinos. So it's almost like the deeper, the more masculine the communities.
Wait a minute, what is it again? Philip what?
Like Filipino? They just put the X.
Filipinx, like what?
I don't even know.
No, and it's hilarious because what's funny about
never
this,
does.
And it's funny we're into this conversation because I just watched the movie In the Heat of the Night the other night.
Oh,
you guys ever seen it before?
Yes.
The original. I'm talking about the Rod Steiger.
Yeah.
You know,
Sidney Poitier. Yeah.
Now, the thing about that movie, which struck me as strange this time, because I never knew this before, and I just happened to flip on the making of it afterwards. In the original book, when that rich fucking cotton field owner fucking slaps Sidney Poitier's character Tibbs in the book, Tibbs does not slap him back.
Right.
But for some reason, to me, it's like, how could you have this story without that in there? Because that's a very important piece to this story. And Norman Jewison and Sidney Poitier agreed, and that's how he took the role. He's like, I'm only going to take this role, but I get to hit him back.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he completely understood. He completely understood, because what he said was, and when people would ask him he goes, because at that time, especially in the middle of the civil rights, you guys got to remember, this movie came out a year before the assassination of Martin Luther King, right?
Right.
This was in the heat of all this shit.
Yep.
They couldn't even film this movie in the fucking South because they couldn't because of Sidney Poitier. The closest South they could go was they filmed it in Sparta, Illinois.
Oh, I thought it was like, okay, it was in Illinois.
That's all the farthest they could go. There's one bit that's actually below the Mason-Dixon line, and that's the cotton field bit. And that was so bad that they could only find one hotel that would take Sidney.
Right.
But the thing was, he insisted that he gets to hit him back, because that is a time when a man needs to stand up for himself and be a fucking man. Right. And that's the whole point of that entire movie, is Sidney Poitier coming into this little fucking hick town and showing them that a man is a man no matter what the color of his fucking skin is.
Well,
that's the whole point of that fucking movie. They do it just so nuanced. Sorry, Mark, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm feeling you on that, man. The Defiant ones too. When you the 1-2 punch In the Heat of the Night and the Defiant ones.
I don't know that.
You know that. Yeah, that was also Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis, I believe it was.
Oh, Tony Curtis.
They were handcuffed together and had to be on the run together. Tony Curtis was a hardcore racist.
Yep.
And Sidney Poitier was, both of them were criminals, obviously. And, it was a great observation of race relations, and how people can actually come to respect one another and work together, even though they started off like hardcore hating each other.
Guess
who's coming up? Had a point.
Now, and the other thing is, it's funny about In the Heat of the Night is Sidney is not really the outsider. If you look at the film, it's Rod Steiger's character.
Right. He's in the past.
No, he's actually the only one in that town who is progressive.
Oh, that's right.
If you watch everything in the movie, everybody treats him with no respect. Why?
Right, you're right.
Because he is the only one who has this thought in his mind that, people are people. Even if he reacts to the things the way that normally people would in the South, he still lets the character do what he's supposed to do. And you can tell that he knows he's doing the right thing through the entire film.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's getting called names for it, and he's getting treated like shit for it. Sidney goes through a bunch of shit too, but people don't even pay attention to the shit
I'm
that
glad
Rod
you just
Steiger's
point that
character
out.
is going through. Because even in the beginning of the film, he's completely disrespected by everybody in the town.
Paulie, I want to hear what you have to say, but before we do that, we have 119 people watching, but I don't think we have over 100 likes, people. So please hit that like button and share it out. Tell your grandmother. It's a good conversation. Paulie, what were you going to say?
So we had a watch party. We saw the 1995 film Mi Familia, My Family, and I had invited Comics Division and Toxic Man Food to watch it, and then the next day we'd have a talk on a public stream,
right?
And we were all just floored. I hadn't seen it in years. I don't even know if any of you guys know, besides Tom, maybe.
Say it again. What was it?
My Family. Mi Familia.
Okay. Who's in it? Anybody I would know?
Jimmy Smith, Jennifer Lopez.
Oh wow,
Edward James Olmos.
I remember it.
Elpidia
I
Carrillo.
remember it, but I did not see
Edward James
it.
Olmos.
So,
I love
it
him.
is all about fathers and sons. I mean, it is. I forgot how much, and it's not perfect. Meaning, like they're not perfect fathers,
Right?
but
it's honest.
they're lessons that they're teaching. Meaning that even one of their sons went off and became a dope dealer, right? And that they even said that's the the macho, the bad side of being a macho. But something like that could never be made today, and it is a glorious film. Jesus Christ, it's so amazing. I forgot how great of an actor Jimmy Smits is.
Oh yeah,
he's an ex-con, and he's trying to connect with his son after so many years. And here's a little fun film fact. At one point, he brings his son, who's a little boy, like it's like in the 80s. At this point in the timeline, he brings him a toy, and it's a Millennium Falcon.
No shit. That's cool, man.
Cool. That's pretty cool. But the point
I
is,
just point out
you can't make those movies right now.
Yeah. Next, go ahead, Mark.
No, I just wanted to go back to the incredible Nina Infinity's comment from a while back because I didn't want to lose it. And she says, if you help boys grow into good men, they'll take care of women.
I saw that too. I marked it.
And I wanted to actually make that point because raising good, strong men is good for all of us. It's good for women.
Yep.
I remember one of the best things I'll never forget my ex-wife saying to me was, whenever you walk into a room, I feel like everything's going to be all right. You know?
That's our job.
And I'll never forget it because that's like you said, that's our job. That's the point of it all, to bring security to your women, to your family. And what we have in this culture today is an undermining of that. We should all be alarmed by that. I don't care about, feminism and all that stuff. Listen, men are probably the original true feminists because we actually do have an instinct to take care of them. You know what I mean?
You know what I got to say about that, Mark? And I was trying to hit on it before was they're raising boys now not to be masculine, but what we should be doing, don't get me wrong, I know what they're trying to do, but they don't understand. You don't raise boys not to be masculine. You teach boys how to control their masculinity, how to control that urge to just fucking punch somebody in the face because they're such a dick. That urge to just take what you want. You control that unbridled rage and teach a boy how to focus that into a positive way so that we don't lose, the testosterone that a man is, just the levels of what it means to be a man. Because soon enough we'll be the Heaven's Gate freaking clan where everybody's chopping their nuts off.
Yeah, men have to learn not to go from frustration to anger in 2 seconds. That's something we have to control. It's not something women have to deal with as much. So that's
a big part of that is the way men are raised now, right? Like they're not, they're taught to be overly emotional and act out in ways like children in some respects. It's just like, wow.
I don't want to show. I don't like showing my feelings, not because I can't, because I don't want you to see them. I'll show them to people that I love, people that I care.
Kids need men to show them how to do that.
And that's what but I'll show my children when I'm emotional, they'll be like, look, dad, he's tearing up. Like I'll get teared up over a movie. I might not cry, but they know I'm emotional and I'm getting that response.
Yeah. My kid makes fun of me.
Yeah.
And he should.
Yeah.
And I like extending it in the real world with my neighbors, right? We just had some new neighbors move in. Single mom, young boy, older teenage girl, and the young boy was like, I'm a YouTuber, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm like, are you a good son?
Yes.
Do you do what your mother says? Cool. You're like, he's a really sweet guy.
That's beautiful, man.
Really sweet kid. And then I said, I talked to the mom from it. I said, I have martial arts classes twice a week with my cousins and kids and stuff. Have them come.
Mm-hmm.
You need that male energy constantly. It has to be balanced. It has to be present. It has to be, because then you fear it, you respect it, and as you get older, you learn how to utilize it, and you learn how to operate.
Something my daddy told me when I was about 12. He's like,
that was beautiful, man.
Kid, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm your dad.
I say that to my kids all the time. And I said, you'll understand it when you're older.
Well, there's a fine line, right?
Now that I'm almost 50, we're more friends than.
But that's it. I'm their parent.
But when it comes to discipline and how a man has to, handle a kid, especially one who's acting out, right? Like, that's the thing you guys were talking about is, that resistance to jump right to the corporal punishment thing, which is like instinctual. Right. It just goes back to that whole thing. And again, you have to remember that you're showing this boy at the same time how he's supposed to react to this situation, and that's a tough.
That is a tough. You have to always remember that.
And even for me, I got to remind myself half the time, just in general, what how I react to things, because I do get very emotional about
now when I have grandbabies, I'm more like, I try to be reasonable. I'm like, look, the rule is I'm going to tell you 3 times. Once you might not have heard me. Once you might have misunderstood me, but I know you got it on the 3rd one.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the best thing about grandbabies is their revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just about to introduce you. What's up, Mr. Grant Gregory?
Their parents still live with us. So.
Mr. Grant Gregory, you've been here for 20 minutes. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, doing good. There's a Spanish one. Don't worry, Paulie. I've got this one for you, mate.
Yeah.
As a local Spanish speaker.
He is juicy.
Did you say spick?
No.
Yes, I did.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Easy.
What?
I heard you say spick.
Oh, man.
I want you to know something. I resemble that comment, so just take it easy.
Did I ever tell you, Paulie, when I was in 4th grade, I'm a terrible writer, and I did a report on boats, and I got an F, and this is true to God. I wish my dad was still alive because he would tell you the story. And I brought home the paper, and I showed it to my dad. He goes, I saw you working on that. You got an F, like you drew it and everything. And he read it and he started dying laughing. And I go, what? He goes, read that out loud to me, Scott. And I said, the ancient Greeks would use their sailing boats, and they had spikes on the front to ram into other boats. I did not write spikes. Yeah. Yeah, my teacher gave me an F for that one. Instead of, just check the grammar. I'm a freaking 4th grader. I didn't know what word I was using there, but my dad laughed. He goes, I'm going to talk to your teacher because that was hilarious. Like,
what sucks is that, I always had to go back to my parents or cousins and like, what's that word?
Right.
Like, like if my dad.
Is there a back term to that? What's the etymology?
No speak English.
Is that what that is? So it's like WAP without papers. That's what they call Italians without papers.
I don't know. I'm just,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Can you read this from Orville Nation for $5?
Orville Nation, PJ, for $5. Latinx es una estupidez política impuesta por extremistas no latinos.
That's
they
so
don't
true.
Even speak Spanish and can't even read it. Can't even read what I just wrote.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I get the idea. I had enough Spanish that I get the idea what is coming from.
It's a political stew nods. What do you think is it, Mr. Grant?
Non-Latino.
I've been to enough Mexican restaurants. I can understand some of that.
Right. I know there's no
Taco Bell is
Baja.
not Mexican.
There's no Baja in there.
Talking about
somebody's
Taco Bell. I had
stupid,
authentic stuff tonight.
Yeah. What does it mean though? It is talking about people that aren't Latin, or
basically the
political?
people that push the political agenda of Latinx don't speak Spanish, are not into the culture, even though they're
well, the rule they're trying to break there with that X doesn't make sense to break in the Spanish in the English.
This is more of a sex thing, right? Like this is more of a LGBTQ thing, right? Like let's be clear. There is a subgroup of the LGBTQ community that is trying to push this shit.
Right.
And then there's the other side of it now who are going, y'all are fucking crazy. Leave people alone.
You can't take a gender out of a Latin language. You just can't do it.
Well, it's this whole idea of having a genderless society,
Bye,
right?
Nina.
That's and
Bye,
then
Nina.
there's the extreme side of it, which
Bye,
is
sweetheart.
actually
Bye, Nina.
pushing. Bye, Nina.
But
Which is actually
that's
pushing
the point. It shows
the
how illogical
diddling
they
side
are
of things,
because
right?
it's like you can't take gender out of Latin language. It's like based on gender.
You
Look,
can't take it out of almost any language, right? Like
It's just-
Andre made that
I'm gonna
joke.
stop you guys. I mean, there's a whole indigenous side to it that you're not addressing.
That's true.
And
That's
you're
true.
right.
And I don't know that.
You guys are both right, and you guys are both wrong, right? So I would say Latinx for people who truly are trans, non-binary. Some of my family members are, and they use that word. I get it. I respect it. However, you try to use that as an all-encompassing word for a community.
That's what I'm talking about.
Forget about it.
I'm talking
But
about the generalization, Paulie. I'm not
Right,
just
and
talking
then
about one culture.
Sure, but their argument will be is the Spanish language is a conquistador language. Fuck that. It's a white European language. Fuck that. We want to get back to to this. So right now we're X.
So it's indigenous American. They're trying to push it as like of native / Aztec, Mayan, Hopi. What?
Let me say this.
Yeah,
I
just like
do.
Nemo.
My best friend just visited us from Belize, and all the villagers there
I don't trust the Belize.
call themselves Mayans.
Oh, wow.
Well, what you guys are talking about, and this is the thing, Paulie, is I'm not saying you're confusing, but you're kind of mixing in the whole idea
I'm just
of
going to talk about that.
this making
That's
of
gonna be my next
entitlement.
video.
Entitlement is the big thing, right? Like, if I was here first, that means I'm entitled to this and you're not, and your people did this to me. And that's the whole thing that's going on right now, is this whole like idea of your people did this to my people.
Correct.
And this is what I was reminded of when I was watching that movie the other night. It's like, we are so many generations removed even from that generation, yet they are acting like we are the ones that are responsible for this. And this is what pisses me off about this shit. It's like, I get it. There was a lot of bloodshed and a lot of people's fucking histories in my cultural history and your cultural history, everybody's cultural history. But guess what?
All the way
We're
back
at
to
where
the beginning of
hold
time.
on.
Let him finish.
we're
Let
at,
him-
we're at
wanna
where
hear
we're
Tom.
at right now, and right now is the time we need to live in, not this bullshit from 50 years ago.
Right.
We are past that. I have no problem with calling you a she or a her if you used to be a he. If I know you and I respect you, that's not a problem. What people are trying to do is control people's languages, control how they think, and create this idea that equity should trump everything else right now because my ancestors this and my ancestors that. No, get up off your fucking ass, get a fucking job just like everybody else. You're not any more entitled than anybody else. Guess what? We are at a time in history where America is the most even fucking playing field probably in the entire fucking world. Right? Like there's absolutely nothing stopping anybody. I don't give a fuck what you claim you're,
law.
it's my skin color this, my sexuality that. No, if you fucking decided to go out and get tattoos from head to toe and you look like a freakazoid, that's your fault. You're unemployable.
Right. My pronouns are so thank you.
And that's just it right now. There's so many people that are hung up on this idea that I didn't get this job because I'm this. I didn't get this job because I'm that. No, it's because you are trying to blame everybody else for not getting off your ass and doing something for yourself. There is no excuse anymore.
Now to
None.
add some
Last
historical-
thought on it. Last thought on it. Please, I want you to be the last. Give me the historical, and then we're going to move on.
And just the last historical context to that, right, is that our indigenous lineage, whether it's Mesoamerican, Africa, Scottish, or China, I don't know what, we were not kind to each other.
No,
we were not saints. You know, there's a reason why it took less than 2 years for the Spaniards to topple the greatest civilization at that time.
Yep.
At that time, the Nahuatl civilization in its city, Tenochtitlan, was the greatest in the world, hands down. But they were into human sacrificing. And so what they did is they had all their other tribes that they had conquered.
Oh, God, yeah.
Give them more bodies. So they were done within 2 years. There's a reason why. You know what I mean? So, you know, when I hear about that's when I get the anti-indigenous and bullshit like that. It's like, no, know your history.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, it did. You're right. It took 2 years, and because they were outmatched by weapons and other tribes helping the Spaniards. I
Thousands.
mean, you made enemies by sacrificing people's family members in other tribes. Yes, you're absolutely right, man.
Cortez had maybe 600 to 1,000 people from Spain.
Yes, but he had
thousands of warriors.
I love
from
history,
indigenous tribes, dude.
I love history. Hey, everybody, we got 115 people watching, but only 90 likes. Let's get to 100 right now. And while we do that, Eric K for $2. I want Tartar representation.
You ain't gonna get it.
Can I say I've been watching an anime series called A Restaurant in Another World, and it's all about, there's, moral things like little, messages, but it's all about a fantasy world that goes through a door that just appears in different areas of that world into a restaurant that this guy cooks. And it's just the description of food and stuff. But one of the things is tartar sauce, and it's things they've never heard before, but it's amazing. If you sit down and have dinner with people, you can get over being a lizard person versus, a dwarf. If that can happen, why can't we, being black, white, yellow, brown, whatever color you are, just have dinner with people? Shit. Okay, Orville Nishin for another 5 says many people, LGBTQ community in Spain and Spanish-speaking countries use the term Latines, Latines, if they want to be gender neutral.
Longer. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I never heard that one.
Absolutely. That's what my cousins, my sister use. And again, it goes back to Latin. I don't know what that Latinx. I use Latine.
Right. I am proud to have you guys as friends. I am proud that we can have these conversations and disagree, agree, whatever. But let's talk about the shit we usually talk about. And someone in the chat, I'm sorry, I just lost your tweet, but brought up this new TV show. And we weren't going to talk about it tonight, but it's something that I'm like, here we go again. And it's Robin Hood. Just people, what are we doing? So here we go. That's the Black Panther one. Here we go. Here we go. Global TV begins production on Robin Hood series to reimagine classic English folk hero as a black female Gen Zer. Holy shit, this is YouTube gold.
Oh, another redhead.
Yeah, another redhead out the fucking window, man. Bye. So confirming
that gonna be with Maid Marian too. I mean,
well, we're most likely, dude. Really good point.
It'll be Man Marian.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a Gen Xer. I'm skipping all that crap. Following its original development announcement in January 2022, the upcoming 8-episode miniseries officially entered production on June 20th in Toronto and Hamilton areas. Created by Canadian music video director X, and featuring a story by Orphan Black story coordinator Chris Roberts, the 8-episode near-fi action. What the fuck is near-fi action? Is that something we've used before?
It's like sci-fi but grounded.
It's closer to me.
Yeah, it's not futuristic. It's near.
Okay.
I guess.
Jeez, where'd that come from?
That's dumb. Contemporary reimagining of Robin Hood. Okay, so as per a synopsis of the series provided by the network in this modern... Okay, please, Tom. I need this synopsis read. Can you see it?
Is in this modern take on the Robin
Hood
legend.
One of your voices.
In this modern take on the Robin Hood legend, Robin is a fearless young woman who is not just another superhero with abilities normal people don't have. She is a Gen Zer, driven by the injustices of today, who embrace the heroic, hopeful, and playful elements of the world's most recognizable folk hero. It continues. She learns to fight for what's right, to care for and lead her followers. And like Robin Hood since the first ballad, Robin's holds... What the...
And like all Robin Hoods.
That makes no sense.
Right.
Robin holds those in power to account by using their greed against them to help her community.
So basically,
wait a minute.
Modern day time, is it?
One at a time. First, Mr. Grant, then Jack.
Yeah.
What did you say, Grant?
Well, they called her a Gen Z, so it's set in modern times then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So is this gonna? I wonder if this is gonna have something to do with the whole reimagining universe. You know how they're making Zorro a female hacker now. Is this gonna be the new trend? Taking
Oh, do
folklore?
you think
Your
it'll be
answer is in
combined?
the next couple of paragraphs.
I was just
read
about to
this
say.
article.
What were you going to say, Jack?
I was about to
Thanks,
say
Mark.
the same thing.
Oh, okay. See? Great minds think alike. Turning to the protagonist herself, Global explained, Robin Hood follows Robin Loxley, a young woman whose masked hip-hop band, The Hood, is known for their inventive video, and anti-authoritarian message.
Biota
What the
fade.
fuck?
So they're also Antifa. There you go.
It's not even that. Like
Oh.
her masked hip hop band, The Hood. Like, you know, some token white dude was like, I got a great idea. A black Gen
They
Zer.
just stole the idea from Josie and the Pussycats.
Pretty much, dude. But he's sitting there, he's like, I got this idea. A black Gen Zer, maybe gay. We'll talk about that. She's a hip hop artist, but they wear masks. And they're called The Hood. She'll be Robin of Loxley. There'll be Little Jane. You know, yeah. Little Jane will be a transvestite, 6'9". You know, just going on and on, man. I can't, the shit that runs through my head.
You know, you saw that with the
will be a work that actually works at a fryer.
Say that again.
We've seen this with the reimagining of Cinderella, where they had the black guy and it was about sneakers.
Yes.
You know, then it was black Miles Morales Thor, where he's got to have graffiti on the hammer.
Right.
You know, they always have to bring it back to the hood.
Right.
Because this is where they want to keep people in their mind. That's what I was talking about before, about how I try to challenge black people to not be put in that box. And I end up getting a lot of flack on my videos because people misunderstand that. You should understand that you don't have to accept these things that they're giving us.
Right.
You know, you can imagine yourself to be bigger and better than this. You know, they also have her, living in a
van,
high rises, rental high rise, the projects basically.
Yes.
You know, and that's what they're doing, man.
They're using the most evil application of stereotypes.
Well, that's it. And if you guys didn't see that episode, talking to the people in chat or on the panel, where Jane and myself and Mark and I think Tom was there, Mr. Grant Gregory, we were talking about that Thor comic book, and you're absolutely, look at the images. It is the most stereotypical. Like, why would Thor have graffiti? Like, he would have no respect for this magical hammer that he would put freaking graffiti on it. Like, everything was Hood. Everything was Hood. Now we have a band, The Hood.
Right.
It's disgusting, Mark.
And keep in mind, when you were reading it, you chuckled, right?
I did. I'm sorry that I did.
No, never apologize for that, because that's actually the point of it all. You know, to make these people into a joke. Yeah, and that's what it is right now. Black people are the longest running joke in this country right now, and we have to be more self-aware. I'm talking about black people primarily, and then of course those of us who are in this fandom who, you know, we're supposed to know better. You know, so when we get into the rewriting Ripley stuff, that crap that we were into before, we can't make it that easy for them, you know, to look at some of the things that we say every day and some of the things that we do that's insensitive towards one another, where they can actually just grab it and say, hey, look, this person said darkies, or this person, you know, was mocking George Floyd or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, if we make it easy, then they're just going to feast on all of us. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, Mark, and Jack, because you're a writer, Mark, not because you're white, Jack, please don't take this one wrong, and Mark, because you're black. Question: if a member of the KKK made this series, what would change? Like nothing, right?
I've often said, you know, just I don't want to, you know, be here too long.
Hold on, let Mark finish, please. Don't worry, it's okay.
You know, at one point, I was wondering, when exactly did hip hop become exactly what the Klan used to say we were in other hate groups? Every minstrel stereotype you can name, you can find in a lot of the modern hip hop that's out here today. And like I said, we have to challenge ourselves to think better, to think bigger, and to challenge our kids to not buy into this.
Right.
You know?
Well, and thank you, Mark. What were you going to say, Storyman? I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
That thing, that darkness, to exclude is in every single group of people to an extent. It is about doing the right thing. It can be the Romans against the Celts. It could have been the Central Asians against the Mongolians. It is in every society that deep, dark want to conquer or other the thing that they don't like.
Right.
It manifests as racism. It manifests as leftism. It manifests in many different ways. And the only way you can fight against it is choosing to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Did you say it manifests in leftism?
Jack?
The only it manifests in leftism. It's
it also does an extreme right. Racism is not exclusive to a political party. So
that's what I'm saying.
No, but that's what they're trying to create is this idea that it is.
Yeah, it's not just racism, and it's not just othering people. It is that darkness that all societies have, and the only way you can fight against it is to choose to do the right thing.
Yeah, the far sides both have racism. The thing I think what Jack is trying to say is the left is using this propaganda as a sign that they're not racist, but they're propagating racism.
They're trying to manifest it.
They're manifesting a stereotype of what now what they want suburban white people to think Robin the frickin' Hood is. Let's read on. She lives in
Sherwood Towers.
Give me the real good one. She lives in Sherwood Towers.
She lives in Sherwood Towers, a cluster of rental high-rises in a working-class corner of New Nottingham, a nearby city where the cost of living has skyrocketed, leaving an ever-widening gap between the rich and everyone else, they added.
What the hell is this? This is Nottingham? All right.
Is that Green Arrow?
I don't know. It looks like Green Arrow and his really good friend.
Gay boyfriend, I guess.
Yes, Toby. So it concludes with this.
Queen for a reason.
It concludes with this, my friend.
When Robin finds herself fighting her home and her family against local property developer John Prince and the Sheriff of New Nottingham, Robin and her band, The Hood, decide to fight back, righting the wrongs of the corrupt elite to give back to the people who are living under their regime.
Okay, before we move on, I want everyone here to know I shall be doing a review of this trailer when we find one. I hope we have one now. Do we have one yet? Oh my God, please tell me we do. This is ridiculous. Why does Hollywood, why do the people keep allowing this dribble to come across our TV screens without shouting back what the F is going on? Seriously, like it blows my mind.
Didn't we with Batwoman, and they still ran it for how many seasons?
That's true. That's true.
I think they just get a kick out of it, guys. I mean, I told you guys a while back, I did a video called Dinner for Schmucks. And I was likening that to what we see here, where I think these studio execs just have a big old laugh. Let's see, we can inject some more black people where, historically and traditionally they wouldn't fit. Let's do it, Let's see if they go for it.
Stereotypes over top of them and shit like that.
Yeah, so wrong, man.
And unfortunately, too many of us are not self-aware, enough to know that you are the joke.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is this coming off like a bad and living color skit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it me, or does Hollywood hate blacks and Latinos? What the fuck?
You know what, Paulie?
It seems
pander, but they don't understand. That's the problem.
That's all I ever say when I have to do these.
And when they do something right, or they actually have somebody making something that's worthwhile, like the Gordita Chronicles or anything like that, they ignore it.
Right. And
that's what I said. If anybody says anything about Namor, though, oh my God, you're a racist.
Yeah. Finish that thought you were just saying, though, Paulie. No, don't worry about. Finish that thought you were saying, Paulie, because that's important, man.
What thought?
Like you keep making.
I can't think. I'm starstruck.
Shit! Now I forgot too. I know I'm here.
I'm starstruck. Mark with the C is on this damn panel.
Dude, Mark with the C honors me almost every week on this. I still don't. Dude, stop it, man. I don't care if you had one sub. Like just
he's not kidding. He's talking about you selling bathwater and shit.
I stole your bathwater. Sorry, I was there last night. I'm honored that people like Jane and Mark and Tom and
Mr. Grant Gregory.
Mr. Grant Gregory, Paulie, like I'm honored you guys will come on my panel. Like this is a smaller channel than all of yours.
Let me
pretty
tell
much.
you something. Paulie sang "Happy Birthday" to me, way back in March and everything. I pretty much showed that to everyone in my family. You know what I mean? I'm like, you got to see this. This is the best thing in the world, man.
That's
I
awesome.
loved it.
That's awesome. My birthday's January 22nd.
When it comes to Robin Hood and things like that, I don't have a problem with readaptations. We've had a million Robin Hoods. We've had a million Draculas. We've had a million Frankensteins. We've had a million,
Black Anne Boleyn
and all that kind of shit.
That's different.
Zorro, all that kind of stuff. We've all had all those things a million times over, reinterpreted a million different ways. Mm-hmm. That to me tells me, you know what? Try something different. You're not hitting anything that's probably original. They probably had something similar in the 80s or 90s already.
Right.
I guarantee it.
To them, they're deconstructing the masculinity, the patriarchy. So that to them is new. That to them is reimagined.
Right.
And that is a huge failure in my book.
Well, and then that's going to go to something we're going to get into with Lord of the Rings. If they hadn't called it Lord of the Rings and just made up a name and called it this fantasy series,
nice segue. Yeah,
it would work so much better than what they're trying to push.
Right,
dude. I said that years ago about Solo. And what was it? That crap, The Last Jedi. I said if you had just made just a regular movie, you know how much easier this would have went down.
How much more money they would have made.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry about
when
that.
You try to attach it to all of these legendary names and things that pre-existed, it's never going to get out from under that weight.
Right. Right.
Especially when you don't know what you're doing.
Hey, I'd just like to say to the 114 people watching, thank you. We're at 101 likes. I really appreciate that. We finally crushed it. All right. Now we're on average. We're feeling good. You guys are the best.
Good math.
I love my math. Love it. Love it. You guys are huge and beautiful.
The Wokoso math would have been on point, but this is real math. Now we're on point.
That's how we roll, dude. That's how we roll. Real math. 1 + 1 is still 2.
Math. He's spelling it with an A. I thought you were spelling it with an E. Never mind.
Just say something real quick because this actually made me chuckle from One Man Show back here. It says, imagine what they would do to Gilligan's Island now. You know something? My whole
Holy
life,
shit.
I was whole life I was saying, thank God Gilligan was not black. All right, they would never ever go for Gilligan being black, and that's a shame.
Can you imagine they treated black man like that?
Yeah, but you know something? He was free. Was it John or Bob? It was Bob Denver. Bob Denver was free to be a fool. He was great as Maynard Krebs.
Oh, you guys gonna
he played a dumb kid.
Yeah, but they won't allow black people to do anything, especially today, which is why we don't have good character development, because you can't make a black man be stupid. You can't make a black woman be annoying. You can't even critique these things.
They pulled episodes of Everybody Hates Chris from Australia because they deemed it too racially inappropriate.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
My
son loved that show.
With all these shows failing or getting canceled,
right?
And this has been I've seen the landscape of the showrunners and executives. They're all Latina women, and they're all very talented. But when you're having Latina this, Latina Fest, and Latina Talks, their ABC is going to do The Culture is Latina. I saw like a 2-minute trailer of it. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. What happens is that you're excluding half of the voices of a certain community, and now we're seeing just show after show is getting canceled. I truly believe it's like if there's some real balanced energy in the room, you wouldn't be fucking with us like this.
Well, it's not just that, Mark. Excuse me, Paulie. It's that
I know we look alike, but it's
you really do. I can't. Anytime anybody's a little shade darker than me, I lose it. Sorry, guys.
I wish. That's a good-looking man, right?
Yeah.
there.
Oh man, could you imagine?
You know what it is? They're both wearing caps. I can see it now. Yeah.
Right. No. No, but I'm sorry, Fatal J. What I was saying was this, Paulie. I love you, Fatal. That's my. What did we call each other? He's not just my brother from another mother. I am his. I'm Fatal J, the negative. If we were film, I'd be the negative version. Anyways, nice. So yeah, right. That's a good one. Shit. Now I forgot what we were talking about.
You're too clever for your own good. You see that?
Fucked myself up.
You used all your brain power on an analogy.
I did. The couple brain cells I have left from all my years. The Lord of the Rings. Let's talk about that because I have a lot of tags on it. The Rings of Power showrunner Patrick McKay recently addressed fans' concerns that the show will embrace modern woke politics in favor of Tolkien's actual writing. Is this the one? Shit.
You say will or will not?
Well, they're not supposed to, and I was going to read a different article first about this because they pretty much threw themselves under the bus, but we'll go back to that. So fans have made it abundantly clear they are extremely concerned about this. For instance, YouTuber Just Some Guy, love that dude's channel, man. Love that dude's channel. Took issue with the show's casting, saying in a YouTube video, the point of Tolkien's story is to be English in design and effect. And Middle Earth reflects that in its culture, languages, and the appearance of its races. To change this, to remove the Englishness, or really the whiteness from Tolkien's stories, is to undermine the very purpose of his work. He put that perfectly. This is an English mythology. This is not meant to be a mixed society. You have a white society, which is the English mythology here, but they also have Southern society that are darker skinned and have different cultures that they could have done stories on, but they decided that we have to always change everything. And how the hell does an elf have a high fade? Sorry.
Dude, those high elven barbers are top notch. You
He
can't
knows a
knock
good
them.
barber, right? Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Like I said, if they would have just left Tolkien out of it, they probably had a pretty good show on their hands.
Right.
His barber is named Tom Barberdale.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. That was
I was
pretty
pissed that he was left out of the original.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a very etheric thing to be able to try and take from a novel to a film.
I know, but I love that character. He's like, he's like he's more than, he's like nature, you know, like he's more. All right. Anyways,
Like
YouTube.
You brought up a good point, though.
Okay.
You brought up a good point because
I like when people say that. Thank you.
back then, the Tolkien purists had problems with Jackson's adaptation, but never did they doubt that he didn't capture the essence or the spirit of the books.
Yeah,
was
a lot
just-
of minor gripes. Yeah.
Well, also they didn't have the poisoning of the Shire and everything. I know that was a huge contention, especially to do with Saruman's demise.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would have translated as well, because that's you know the modernization of the Shire back then when it was written. He was against the industrial age, so it wouldn't make sense now. So I think it made sense for him to leave or admit that part of it, I should say.
Right. Right. Well, now, Mark, excuse me. God damn it, Paulie. What were you about to say? Yeah.
No, we can go on.
One of you.
Okay. All right.
We can go on.
All right. I don't know what's going on.
I just think now,
I work a lot.
I think we're all in the same boat, that it's now anything. This is we're not talking. The essence is gone. You shouldn't even call it inspired by Tolkien's works. It's
Right.
like you were taking a crap, and you thought of like, oh yeah, we'll do an Afro-Latino elf.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Because-
I feel like
Because I have some of the rights, but not all the rights.
Yeah.
Get
How
outta
do
here.
Mark or now Tom? How do you have a?
Tom?
Just go ahead, please.
I mean, I don't even remember my exact.
It's because
point I was
everybody's
gonna make
names are in
here,
blue.
Yeah, that's.
I
it.
know, right? Like they're right in front of your face.
I know. I'm not looking at you guys. Go ahead.
I mean, this whole idea of making it applicable to today's modern world, they're using that as, what do you call it? Kind of a catch-all for them to be able to do whatever they want without taking into consideration what Tolkien actually meant by that.
Right.
Right? Like, here's the thing. There's been debate back and forth about how Tolkien would have viewed Jackson's films. And honestly, going through those notes that he gave for the earlier version of the film that never came to be,
Right.
I don't think Tolkien would have been that disappointed with Jackson version. In fact, I think he would have been very happy with it.
Yeah.
I think he would have completely understood, you know, not being able to have Tom Bombadil. or the scouring of the of the Shire.
But he would.
I think he would completely understand those things because Tolkien wasn't about that. Tolkien was more about what it meant, right? Because if you read his notes, he gets into the minutia of you can't say this because this goes against this, and you can't. And not only that, he's more worried about logistic things, right? He's like, you can't have this event happening at this time because it's the winter time, and then it's not over here. You can't conflate the two. Like, those are the kind of things that he would get into, right?
Right.
He's more worried about the tone, the meaning,
right,
and logistics,
and what he can pull off cinematically.
I think he would have been in love with Jackson's versions, to be completely honest with you.
Remember,
they were gorgeous films.
Remember, he was a linguist, so he thought about things very, very logically.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that when you're a logical writer, everything has to be in its place. Mm-hmm. There can't be any contradictions. And that tells me right there that he would have been okay, because even though Jackson left some things out, he didn't really contradict anything.
Exactly. Great. Yeah. And that's
what they're doing now is nothing but contradictions.
Because you have to remember, in that earlier version, this is from like 1954, they were going to make a version, and he gave all these notes for it. Mm-hmm. And in the notes, none of it had anything to do so much with the stuff they were excising. He totally understood that part of it. So I agree with you, Story Man.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he would have looked at Jackson's versions and he would have said, brilliant, this is exactly what you should do with this, because, you know, you've got 9 hours of fucking story here. I don't think anybody else could have told my story any better than this. Right. Given what they had to work with. I mean, especially considering people forget that when those movies came out, we had CGI and stuff, but it wasn't to the point where we're at now. There's not nearly as much CGI in the first Lord of the Rings films as you think there is. But when that movie came out, it had some of the most CGI any movies had at that point.
And it was beautiful.
But a lot of that is practical. I mean, people forget that. And so, like, Jackson still pulled that off with, you know, just basically bubblegum and tape and camera tricks. So...
Mark, I think we were touching on the same thing about the beauty of that movie. Please go with it.
I mean, that was as close to like the holodeck as I've ever come in my life, where I actually felt like I walked into this world. You know what I mean? Like I was so overwhelmed when I was watching those movies. I have all of the, you know, the extended, I know we all probably do, you know, all of the extended versions of those films. And it was such a masterpiece to me because, even a lot of the dialogue that was in there, I had to pause and listen to again. Like, you know, some of the things Gandalf was saying, I'm like, holy crap, this is so beautiful. You know what I mean?
But not,
like,
not
I just
to
love,
mention
go ahead.
The actors.
Yes. When they're waiting for the battle to start, and it's just like pin drop quiet, man. I was going crazy. I was like, I don't want this to end. You know what I mean? I love those films so much.
When the old man.
And if you were a fan of the books, you would enjoy your book reading again.
Yes.
Because
it made me reread the books. Yeah.
Correct. And
it changed the way I imagined it as well. That was the best part about it, is because I always had, when I read them as a kid, I always had how I imagined it. They would appear and look and everything. And then even now when I go back and read it, I don't remember what I used to think. I see Peter Jackson's interpretation.
Same.
Yes.
So when you see what they're coming at us with now, you know, you're so totally taken out of that now. This is the exact opposite. You know, nothing is pulling you in. You know, nothing is calling out to you. I know when I saw the trailers, I was like, I gotta see this. Like, I gotta be there opening night, you know. But this, I'm not excited for this at all.
And you know what also, Mark, was beautiful about it? Me and a couple buddies went and saw it. I think it released around Christmas time, the first movie. If not, I know one of the other ones did, because what we did was the next two movies that came out, it was like an after Christmas thing we did. So like Christmas night, we went to the late showing, and it was like a moment in time I will never forget. And the crazy thing was the goddamn movie house was packed, and it was Christmas Day at like 11 o'clock at night. And we had so much fun with everybody. The last time I remember having that much fun in a movie theater with people was like, I think it was like an Eddie Murphy movie back in the late 80s, early 90s when I was a kid. Like, just people having fun, like just oohing and eyeing and laughing at the little jokes, and like, you know, being prepared for the moment when in the second movie, when the old man releases the bolt and it's like, it has begun, you know, like, oh man, what a movie. What a freaking movie.
It brought me back to the first time I heard the story.
Nah. You know what it really brought me back to? The cartoon.
Yeah.
Because that was the first thing I ever got from Tolkien. And after I enjoyed that, my uncle bought, he doesn't remember it, but for Christmas one year bought me the trilogy of books.
Yep.
And I thank him for putting me, I am not a diehard Tolkien guy. I love the books, but he put me on the journey of nerdism, and I love him for that.
Yeah, well,
Does
you
anyone
know,
have those cartoons, by the way, or know where you can find them?
Yes.
I haven't seen them in ages, and I
yeah,
love them.
I think they're actually, you can rent them on Prime.
Yep,
It's
you
not
can.
a series, it's just one.
Yeah, it's
The
one
Hobbit.
long. I always thought it was a series too. I thought there was multiple, but it's one long movie. The Hobbit. Yeah.
Are you talking about the animated
I'm talking about the
Hobbit
Lord
or
of the Rings one though, because there's the one where
the
he gets
Bakshi one, the animated one?
where he gets
Yeah.
his finger bitten off.
Yes.
Oh, those are on DVD, and I think you can get them digitally.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause those were
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
And the
The
Bakshi
one
Lord
from
of the
like the
Rings movie,
60s.
the Bakshi Lord of the Ring movie from the 70s has been released on Blu-ray.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a cartoon,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yeah. That was dope.
And that's what I was waiting to see what they did with the Starlights whenever they met Galadriel, when I was sitting watching the Peter Jackson version, and you know, especially when I watched the extended version, that's what I was looking forward to. And
You mean this character? Wait a minute, where is she? Ah, damn it. I was gonna show the new one. She's orange somewhere. She is orange. You know, not the gorgeous one we have now or had. Like this to me is not her. That is not her. Who is this? Like she's a warrior princess. She's what's her name? You know
Xena.
nothing. No, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Ygritte.
Ygritte.
She's Ygritte.
no, no, she's more like what's her name from those Mockingbird stories.
Oh yeah. Yep. Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah.
Look at that dude's like plastic chest plate. That thing is awesome. That's gonna stop a
Dude, that's a $900,000 chest plate you're talking about.
yeah. That's a dragon bone, dragon scale. All right, let's read a little bit more.
Back to that image real quick.
The picture.
Yeah, and Santa Monica High School presents its 1989 high school theatrical season with
of Othello.
Hamlet,
that is
done by
perfect.
the parents of our
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
By the thank you to the Smith family for
For
sewing
donating
all
the
the
garb.
yeah. Oh God. All right, we're gonna read a little bit more.
Like they're on their way to Renfrew.
God, I hate my goddamn mouse. YouTuber The One Ring, and I believe it's onering.com, not net, recently expressed his concerns about the portrayal of Galadriel and how you pronounce that one? Miriel? I don't think that's right. Miriel. In the recently released trailer for the Rings of Power, his criticism focused on a single image of Galadriel and the other one meeting in what appears to be Numenor. As part of it, he notes Amazon is actively changing Tolkien's work to reflect the worldview that they want to create rather than what Tolkien created. They believe, oh shit, this thing jumps, and I tried to slow it down, but it doesn't work, so I apologize. They believe that their worldview is actually better than Tolkien's, he explained, and Tolkien's worldview was of Middle Earth. It was influenced by who he was, but it wasn't like he was trying to inject his politics into Middle Earth. He was writing what he knew, and what he knew was based on him going to World War I and him marrying Edith. His worldview wasn't to be political activator. It wasn't to be someone who influenced the times. He wrote Middle Earth out of the love of writing Middle Earth, and out of the love of mythology, and out of the love of the language.
Amen.
The One Ring details. Amen to that. Yeah, man. Anybody have anything to say on that?
No.
Well, the whole Numenorian thing, it's really weird. It's like he's turned them into a bunch of bums. You know, that's what I always thought, because they're
the closest to elves, right? Numenorians are like...
Yeah. I always look at them as, you know, high society, but they're all built like brick shithouses.
They're like Targaryens in a way,
yeah,
but
in a
better.
sense, yeah. But yeah, when I looked at that one there, I'm like, and because I think it was George Milo was saying, oh, that's Numenor and everything. I said, no, it's not. Anyway, you know, that's supposed to be the Numenorians, and I'm just like, well, all right, if they want to change something as fundamental as, you know, an entire race, essentially,
right?
Then what else are they willing to change?
Guys, if you haven't been watching George the Giant Slayer, one of the panelists on this great show, The Dump, occasionally when he's not busy or having nephews and nieces. George has been killing it. I mean, thousands of views on his shit. So go check out his Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power videos. Check out everybody here on the panel's videos on anything. Because I don't do
How much is left of this article?
this article. We could. I'm done with it pretty much.
I got a game for us to play.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's share it. Hold on.
I'm gonna share
play
a
a
bunch
game?
of images
Okay.
for about 3 seconds apiece, and whoever can and just throw it out there. Is it Lord of the Rings? Is it Wheel of Time?
Oh shit.
Or is it Game of Thrones?
Shit. I'm gonna know all these.
Let's see
probably.
if we can get them right.
All right. All right.
You
So
ready?
I'm gonna
Now,
add
this
it.
first one's easy.
Okay.
It's obvious. Go ahead.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings. Okay. Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Got it.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, you guys are doing good so
Wheel
far.
of Time. Wheel of Time.
No, you're on.
Ah! Game of Wheel.
Well, then
This
Lord
one.
of the Rings.
Play.
Lord of the
Wheel of
Rings.
Times. Wheel of Times.
No, it was Lord of the Rings.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of
Wow.
Times.
Wheel
This
of
is
Time. Yep.
Wheel of
No.
Time.
Ring of Power.
Time up. That was the Ring of Power.
Ring of
Polygon,
Power.
Ring of
right?
Power. Ring of Power. That's
Yep.
Patty Mac.
Oh shit! Now I hit the
Matty-
wrong button here. Here we go.
Cheetos.
Commercial.
Yep,
That's an
Cheetos.
easy one.
Game of
Around the
Thrones.
Oh,
Ring of Power.
Ring of Power. Yep.
Game of Thrones.
Ring of
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
oh, we had a Game of Thrones and a Wheel of Time.
Ring
Which
of
is it?
Power.
Ring
Her
of Power.
saving the man.
Ring of Power.
Ring of Power. Game of Power.
No, that was Wheel of Time.
That was Wheel
That's
of Time.
Game of Thrones.
That's Game of Thrones. Yep.
That's-
Ring of Power.
Ring.
Ring
Ring.
of Time.
Game of Thrones.
That's Game of
Maybe.
Thrones.
That was
Go back
an
to
easy
that
one.
photo.
God, she was hot. Oh my God, go back.
Go
to that.
back to that.
Yeah, go
photo,
back to
dude.
Daenerys and we'll
I
take a
was gonna say
break.
that was an easy one.
Let's
You
take a
guys
breather.
get
Oh,
that.
both of them are so gorgeous.
Hell yeah, man.
I threw in an easy one there.
Who's that other
Two for
actress?
one. Jeez.
Is that
That-
the deaf actress?
No, she's not deaf.
No,
She's not
no, no.
deaf.
See, saying
thinking
yes,
about
they
the
all
chick
look
from,
the same.
Walking
Everybody in the
Dead.
chat, they all look the
Yeah.
same.
Well, no, they kind of look alike, and then
So
she's
do.
also in the
They do.
Eternals. I
Did you
just saw
ever
the
see
Eternals
that?
yesterday.
That's not her though.
No, she's in a. She's
Both are
beautiful.
Did anybody grab this one?
This is
Ring of
Ring
Too
of,
late.
Ring of Time.
Ring of Time.
Ring of Time.
That's
Hurry up.
definitely
Game of
House of
Thrones.
the Dragon.
House of the
Rings.
Dragon.
Wheel of Power.
That's Wheel of Time.
Ring.
That's Ring of Power.
Ring of Power.
That's
Oh,
Ring of
Ring of
Power.
Power.
House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Ring of Time.
Ring of
You guys are just lucky
Rings of
because of
Power.
the actors. I guarantee you, if it wasn't because of the actors, y'all would have gotten most
Well,
of
you're
those
asking
wrong.
the
You
wrong
guys
people.
did
We
a
know.
We're
lot
definitely
better
the
than I
wrong
thought
people.
You
Yeah.
did.
We're the
no,
wrong
I'm
people.
impressed. I'm impressed. You guys did a hell of a lot
I'm
better than I thought you
impressed.
did. You got like 3 wrong, I think, altogether, maybe.
Well, I had to force myself to watch all of the Wheel of Time, even
I
though
did
it's
too.
not even the same thing at all.
Is it
Nope,
any good?
sorry
I mean-
about that. I'm done.
Their showrunner said I didn't like the characters, so I changed them.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. Isn't that what you want to hear in a
Unbelievable. That's
showrunner?
what we're dealing with.
And that's what we're dealing with
with
these idiots too. I'm gonna find the other article right now. That's actually they sold themselves out on it, man. I had it.
Hopefully
shared
that
it.
was fun for everybody. though. I
That
thought
was
would
fun,
be-
dude.
Big fun. Big fun.
Thank you,
Well,
Thomas.
that's and that is how powerful the first few seasons of Game of Thrones actually was.
Yep, yep. Because the
Ooh,
second you
Natalie
show me that,
Emmanuel.
I know it. I
There's
know
something
it.
about Natalie Manuel that I.
The girl from Game of Thrones,
That's it. That's it.
dude. She is unbelievable.
House of the Time
And
Rings.
English. She's English too, which is just adds. You know,
No matter,
Don't let your head over
matter,
it.
no matter
The Wheel of Sonic Rings. We get a lot of great
The
titles
Wheel
in
of
here.
Hot is more like it. Shoot.
yeah. Who could come up with the best name? I got to punch on this real quick before we go back to Tolkien. I have to see what this says. Because did they take Bruce Banner out of Disney Plus, and why won't it change?
I don't think they took him out. I think they mean as far as his role that he has in the comics. I don't think it's has
Oh, okay.
much in the show.
So this is the Lord of Rings, Rings of Power showrunner J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. So anytime they use like D.B. Weiss, and D.B. Weiss was one of the Game of Thrones, like
Dumb
you
and
use
Dumber.
just if you just use J.D., some about you I already don't like. You know, as a professional name, because you think you're better than everybody. Sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Attempted to hype up the upcoming thanks, brother. Prime Video series during a Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con. However, the opposite happened, as the more they talked about the show, the more their professed respect, love for Tolkien's work was revealed to be talking points with no truth behind them. No shit. Oh yeah, this was some great stuff. So Colbert was the one moderating it. He's a great guy. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious what Tolkien means to each of you. When did you first encounter him, and why do you love Arda? Both showrunners would punt the question to executive producer Lindsay Weber, who answered, "I was a kid who loved to." Oh, Tom, can you do your Valley Girl?
Oh, it's a Valley Girl?
Yeah, I feel it.
Like, I was totally a kid who loved to read, so I came into it through the books early and just never stopped reading them. They had such pretty pictures. They've always been there for me. Because they like just sit on the shelf and collect dust because I don't know how to read.
Thank you.
I almost thought I was having a stroke there for a minute.
He's grabbing his nuts. Showrunner Patrick McKay then shared, I read The Hobbit in 5th grade and then went straight on through The Lord of the Rings and was waiting every moment for those movies to come out and have done the deep dive, and we really, really love this material and this world. J.D. Payne admitted he came to Tolkien's work through Peter Jackson's movies, saying, I came to the party through the Jackson films and then did the deep dive on the books, The Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, the
Liar.
whole nine. Yeah, exactly. And
Fucking
fell in
liar.
love. Oh, I can't wait. And it shows. And fell in love to the point where the Lord of the Rings became part of my personal canon, not just of literature, but of life. It's something that I go to in the biggest, most difficult moments of my life. Tolkien makes it its way into eulogies for loved ones who have died. Tolkien makes it way into birth announcement. Tolkien speaks the language of the soul and is there for us in these moments.
Jeez.
Could I make a statement? Real
Laying it
quick?
on pretty
Please.
thick there.
Yeah, right.
In fact, he's laying it on so thick he can't even be. So there are whole departments in universities based on Tolkien's work.
Yes.
Right? Those are the kind of fans that they're fixing to make very angry.
Agreed.
They teach multiple year and semester classes on his works.
Yes.
This is not something that is like Star Wars.
Yes.
Right? This is something so far beyond anything else they've touched. They don't understand what they're about to unleash on themselves.
So Jane, this one, I only read, that's why I don't call myself a diehard, because I only read like quarter to a third of it. And then I was like, I already read the Bible once. I don't want to do it again. And now everybody's telling me I missed the good stuff.
Yeah.
So I might have
is going to be glorious.
Get it on audiobook.
Backlash. Mark,
Get it on audiobook. You will get through it.
I will. Mark, that's exactly what I was thinking. The backlash is going to be brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Oh my God.
And I want to poll. I want to poll in the chat, Mr. Grant Gregory, if you're listening. Will you watch this series? Are you looking forward to this series? So are you looking forward to the series? Are you just going to watch it because you're curious? Hell no. And something else that you think of because you're funny. I'd like a poll out there for our 126 people watching right now. Please hit the like button. Let's move on. McKay would then add, it's a really rare thing for an author, director, anyone making collective art to truly create an optimistic work of art. And that's something to be valued. And that's what this is. Because so often it becomes like Hallmarky or saccharine, like Tab. And Lord of the Rings is not that. It's born of pain and struggle and evil, and still comes out at the end saying there's a reason for hope and friendship and bravery are greater powers than evil. And that's something that I think we just hold really dear. If he walked away after saying that, I'd be like, okay, I appreciate that. But he didn't. Later in the discussion, Colbert asks, there are characters played by actors who will be out here in just a moment who are not canonical to Tolkien. That must be one of the greatest challenges. How do you fill out the world with characters that are implied? Implied. They are implied cultures that you are drawing from, but they are not necessarily described to the depth that you are going to represent them. What guidance did you take for those characters' creation?
We took every character and just made them
Thank
black.
Oh, I thought you were going to read it because I can't read anymore.
Oh,
Well,
Payne replied,
just a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the privilege of working with Tolkien scholars like Tom Shippey,
and then
who
we fired him.
and amazing linguists who they cannot name, and also had lore masters who they cannot name that were part of the writer's room that would help us make sure we really honoring both the letter and the spirit of the legendarium. Who are they? I mean, at least they had the.
If you can't remember Tom Shippey, you are
right.
Disgusting.
They at least had the balls over at Disney to tell us who the story group was.
Right.
We can't even know who these people are, and this is so much more important than that work. Yep. Without this work, that work would never have existed.
Right. Why don't you finish this right here too?
Paulie's got to go, buddy. So.
Oh, Paulie, you got to go.
Yeah, I was on borrowed time, so.
Well, I'm glad you came to us while you were borrowing it.
No, thanks for the invite. I'm gonna do something very masculine, and we're gonna watch the UFC fights. Me and my lady.
Yes. Yeah. Say hi to Mrs. Slant for me. I haven't seen her in a while.
That's how you do it.
Who are you going for, Paulie? Just out of curiosity.
Well, my girlfriend's Brazilian, so Amanda.
Oh, so he actually knows a name. I guess he's not one of these scholars.
Amanda Nunes. I forgot what the other championship fight is going on, but anyways, Scott.
Yes, brother.
You, man.
I love you too, Ben.
Mark.
Much love, brother.
We gotta have a longer conversation. And Tom.
Maybe we could do on a Monday night a Mark, Scott, and Paulie show. We'll talk.
Story man. Grant, hope you're feeling better.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love you, man. What are you working on? Anything?
My health.
Okay. Nothing coming out soon?
I'm back, back to 100%. Yeah, I mean, the channel just crossed 3K. We got a lot of members, man. A lot of wonderful people just working on the channel every day.
It'd be awesome to hit 3K. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, buddy.
All right,
134 people saying goodbye to the great Paulie. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, subscribe. We have fun here. Come on. Only 4% of the viewers are going to watch it. Yeah. Amy says, I was last summer. Now not so much. I want a Tolkien story. This ain't it. This Tolkien fan will not be watching. Nope. Amy, God bless you. Please become a subscriber if you are not. Let's read on. Does somebody want to read that last paragraph right there?
I will.
All right, thank you.
The Tolkien gave us all these amazing clues about cultures in the Second Age. Clues. He said concerning hobbits, he talks about ancestors of hobbits, where there's Stoors, Followhides, and Harfoots. And he gives us just a couple of tantalizing paragraphs about Harfoots. But then you take those clues in there and you say, cool, what kind of society would? He talks about their wandering days.
I'll take it from here. So you say, okay, imagine these sorts of migratory wandering hobbits. What did they be like? How are they similar to hobbits in the Third Age? How are they really different? So piecing those clues together and also doing what Tolkien himself did, which would be go back to our world and look at the heroic sagas and myths and stories and draw inspiration from them to sort of help bring a verisimilitude. Oh, I did it. To the characters he was creating. One, always backed to Tolkien, and two, when Tolkien was silent, we tried to invent as Tolkien way as possible. Bullshit. McKay then says, go back to the book, go back to the book, go back to the book. Bullshit. Can I ask a question? If you went back to the book, wouldn't you realize that dwarfs live under, like the dwarfs of the mountains, and a lot of the dwarfs live in mountains and in caves and underground in these massive, beautiful cities, wouldn't have pigment? Like, wouldn't need to be black?
That's the problem they have. They're trying to adapt an appendices.
That's biology.
Yeah, but it doesn't say in those appendices that they don't have dark skin, so therefore, technically, we're right. That's
because like
Jane, they're going to use.
Jane has pointed out, like, the different hobbits, there are darker skinned hobbits. There has been brought up. The Harfoots are darker. So I can understand.
But it's more
They're not
like an
adapting a
Odyssey.
story. They're adapting appendices. That's all they're doing. There's no story here, so they had to make up the story. So they're just, it's all flash and smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm skipping all their fluff shit. Let's get back down to the good stuff. Despite their proclamations of being dedicated to Tolkien's work and that they always went back to the book, the truth revealed itself in Payne's words when he made it abundantly clear he never made it past page 3 of the Fellowship of the fucking Ring. Oh my God. On page 3, Tolkien clearly writes, before the crossing of the mountains, the hobbits had already become divided into 3 somewhat different breeds: Harfoot, Stores, and Followhides. The Harfoots were browner of skin, smaller and shorter. They were beardless and bootless. Their hands and feet were neat and nimble, and they preferred highlands and hillsides. After describing the other ones, Tolkien continued, the Harfoots had much to do with dwarves in ancient times and long lived in the foothills of the mountains. They moved westward early and roamed over Eredor as far as Weathertop, while the others were still in Wilderland. They were the most normal and representative variety of hobbit, and far the more numerous. They were the most inclined to settle in one place and longest preserved their ancestral habit of living in tunnels and holes. Clearly, Harfoots are hobbits. They are not the ancestors of the hobbits. They are hobbits. Tolkien makes this clear not once but twice, and does so in short order. So not only does Tolkien make it clear that Harfoots are hobbits, but he also makes it clear that hobbits are not even mentioned in the histories until the Third Age, when a tribe of Harfoots arrive in Eredor in 1050. That's from Appendix B, states the Paranethian are first mentioned in the records with the coming of the Harfoots in Eredor. I want to see when they start lying. Go ahead, please.
It is. So they're saying they're the ancestor of the hobbits. The hobbits just showed up, actually, and there's no mention of them before that. So they're extrapolating where they could have come from, and that's it.
Yeah,
so it's all flash and smoke to get you to agree with putting whatever they want on the screen.
Right. That's what it sounds like to me. And calling it
canonical.
Yes. So, because of what, and there's more things, like this article doesn't go into everything, but there's other stuff that happens, like when they're asking questions about, and this got deleted real quick, and not a lot of people were talking about it. They didn't know who created the rings. Like, even Colbert didn't realize it wasn't, oh God, what's the elf that helped them? Sauron. God damn it, who's the elf that helped them build the rings except for the ones for the elves? Anyone? Bueller?
Can't help you there, bro.
I know you. I know.
I like to call a friend.
Yeah, it's called the chat. The chat. There was the elfish metalsmith who helped him create the rings, except for the ones for the elves, because he realized he was doing something shady. I can't remember his name because I'm terrible at that stuff. There it is.
Brimble.
Thank you, man. Where the frig did you go?
Sorry, I was just away.
Yeah, chewing on something. You chubby bastard. I love you.
I can't help it.
It's all right.
I have a problem.
Dude, I've been watching a series. It's a dude who has like 10 wings from mild to hot, where he interviews actors. I've never seen it before until today.
Oh, yeah, Hot One. Yeah.
Oh, Hot Ones. I can't stop watching the guy. I can't stop watching it. I want to be big enough. Go ahead.
That's who I based my interview style off.
Dude, I want to be big enough to be able to go on that show. That's my goal now.
Except next time when I get Mark back on, I'll give him some hot wings.
Yeah.
Sounds good, bro.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just suck. Let's just put it that way. They just suck. They're just some guy stuff. Really points it out. But the guy, where is he? On top of these, other fans complained. Executive producer for the show, Lindsay Weber, told Vanity Fair, it felt only natural to use that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like. This is what they're saying, people. Why? Why does the world have to look like that?
Just
Tolkien,
don't get it.
Yeah, because Tolkien is for everyone, she says. His stories are about his fictional races doing their best work when they leave their isolation of their own cultures and come together. That part is true. When they come together, they are better together fighting evil. But it's not.
But that part, Tolkien is for everyone. You know, we hear that with Star Wars too. You know, that idiot sat up on the panel, wherever that was, and Star Wars is for everyone. Thank you for applauding. No, Star Wars is not for everyone. Tolkien is not for everyone. You know, that's what they don't understand. You know, these people have been on the outside forever. Right. Now, all of a sudden, when they infiltrate, it's for everyone. When up until now, they were always making fun of us. We were the geeks. We were the nerds. You know, we had our own little clique. It's not for everyone. It shouldn't be made to be for everyone. Either you get it or you don't.
Exactly.
It's okay if you don't get it, but stay the hell out of it if you don't get it.
Is gatekeeping a bad thing?
No, it is for everyone. If you want to enjoy the story, if you don't enjoy the story, walk on. You don't have to take control.
And you disqualified yourself. It's not for you.
Right, you know but it is open. I think what Jack's trying to say, it's open to everyone. But if you don't become a fan, like a lot of, I've seen these people in the chat, newer people in the chat that seem to be real fans that know their shit. Like, because you didn't get into it, are you now mad? So now you're taking it out on the people that actually, like myself, research Song of Ice and Fire. Like, I research it. Like, I love, and I'm terrible with names, so I forget everybody's name. Gary and Jane know this. I forget everybody's names, but I know the history. I love the history. I want to know more of the history. Even though George
would be a terrific writer.
Yeah, you think so? I just love history. You know, like I love Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. I just think it might be a messed up thought, but I think people just love destroying other people's joy. You know, I think that, you know, this world has been tested, you know, with pessimism, and, you know, a lot of people are down for several reasons and stuff, but we figured out a long time ago how to escape. You know, we figured out, you know, like what to escape into, you know, a long time ago. A lot of us got into this, but then you have these other people who are looking from the outside in, and they don't understand it. They want to ridicule, and they want to destroy what it is that we have, our world. You want to bring your messed up world into our world. That's basically what she's saying here. You know, we wanted to reflect the outside world. It never was supposed to do that.
No, not even in his time.
And even if it did, it was the height of metaphor, you know?
Yes.
These aren't supposed to be us. These are supposed to be things we're to aspire to give us ideas to aspire to give us the idea that a little thing that is insignificant in the course of the world, this little being can traverse the world and take on the greatest darkness that's ever been known.
Right.
And you can aspire to be that way.
Right.
That's what these stories are about. But they're too lazy to aspire to be that way. So they want to bring it down so they can be it.
Right.
Yes. And it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right. And it's like these people. Okay, so this is an actor. She plays Princess Dicia, Sofia Namveti. She goes on to say, we are redressing the balance within the film and television industry, and of course this franchise, and I hope lots of franchises moving forward. So this is what pisses me off. And she goes on, but this is what pisses me off. Then why choose this franchise? If you want to change the film industry and you want to have more diversity and more different genders and all that stuff, pick a franchise that actually offers that, or create a new franchise that offers that. Why do you have to destroy? See, that's where their facade starts to crumble. You pick a franchise that has nothing to do with any of that. That was a time long ago, and you want to destroy it to create something new by just using its name. It's like peeling the skin off of it and wearing it. That's all it is. It's covering the pig shit, you know?
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say, I mean, and with Lord of the Rings, they can't be as obvious as like the Wheel of Time, but they hire the same people. And that guy in the Wheel of Time literally said, I changed the characters because I did not like them.
Right. And passion, it does have, yes, it's based on Tolkien's the Second Age of Tolkien's world. I understand. It does. It has stuff to do with it. But they're changing it enough where it's now definitely 25% changed. Like,
you know, I mean, I'll not say I'm the greatest storyteller in the world. I write stories.
and you're good
I
at
voice them. I'm not really good at the voices. And I just put it out there, but I make new stuff. I try to take ideas I've never seen together before. I try to scare people. I try to entertain. I don't care about the message. If I have a message, my subconscious is going to write it in there. That's the way it's always been.
Right.
And if you see that through line, then great. If you don't, I hope it's entertaining at least.
Right.
You know, it's not about a message, or when you try to force a message, it doesn't come across. It just doesn't.
No,
and they don't understand it.
And if you don't beloved the work, or at least believe in the work, that doesn't come across either. When you don't understand it to the core of its values, the greatest actors act that they're in love with the work they're working on. Like so even if they don't like a book, they will become enthralled with that book and dissect that book because it's being made into a film. That's what you're supposed to do with these worlds. You're not supposed to go in and be like, well, Tolkien's considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest high fantasy or fantasy writer of all time. Let's change it. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's have a black elf with a high fade. I still don't understand that, Mark.
He's the father of fantasy.
But how does he have a high fade? Where is that barber? I need to know. And thank you to, I have 10 new subscribers today. Thank you guys. If you're not subscribed yet and you're new here, you're enjoying tonight's stream, make sure to subscribe. We do bring other stuff throughout the week. Thank you. Yeah. In name only. Passion and name only, my friend. What do you guys, I mean, will this crash and burn like we expect it to, or will it be a normie sensation?
It'll crash and burn.
You think so?
No, I think the opposite. I don't think it's going to do either. I think East will be as middle of the road as you can get.
It'll lose the money though. They won't be able to.
I don't see any way it could not lose the money with what they put into it. Like,
right.
Yeah, they'll lose the money. And the other part of it is that they're lazy.
Right.
They don't want to create their own stuff.
Well, that's it. Again,
it's the easiest way to force their politics is to use something else.
Yeah, what's Inklings?
I think we all know.
Oh, go ahead, Mark, and we'll talk about this after.
Yeah, I think we all have seen by now the people that they're marketing to don't spend money and they don't spend time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? So who's this for? I mean, it's not. They're not going to invest. They're not going to get a return on their investment that they're looking for.
Right.
It's going to be mediocre at best, and that's not what it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be earth-shattering, a whole different reality. You know.
Yep.
Again, it doesn't make sense because they're not making money off it.
Well, and you keep saying that, and we've been seeing that. Look, you brought it up too, Disney. Okay, Disney hasn't been making money like the money that they're used to in quite a while, and if any, I'll fight you on it. I might not have the numbers. I wish Culture was here right now because he's number man, but you can't tell me from what I'm seeing. Like, they're begging people, and I actually think it's the best Marvel series yet, Miss Marvel, but they're begging people to watch it because of all the other crappy freaking Marvel series we've had to go through. Disrespecting Loki, you know, the destruction of Captain America's history. Like, there is the complication of that shield. What the frig are you talking about? Like, there is no complication. It's complicated. That is one of the most disheartening things I've heard in the MCU yet, is when he said the man he idolized, Captain America, the man he became brothers with on the battlefield of, you know, a man from the 40s and a man from today become best friends and they become each other's wingman. And then you go and say his shield is complicated? F you, man. And for Anthony Mackie to be like, yeah, this is fine piece of work. F him too. Well,
it's just like that meme about the super fan in Germany who was peeing on the wall. They don't care. They've been urinating on all of these great stories. Even the way you make the story, the hero's journey, they've been urinating all over that as well.
Yeah.
Even I have had 2 book deals fall through because they wanted me to have more diversity in my stories.
Mm-hmm. That's
as a new writer.
Oh, because they got most of the control, man. They got most of the control.
And I'm like, it's a fantasy. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man.
So, like, because I don't have bisexual scenes in my story, you want me to add all that? No. You know,
but that's what they want.
I can't even imagine how frustrating that must be. I can't even
imagine. And so unless you self-publish, you either have to, and I wouldn't mind writing a story like that if I knew that mindset, because in order to tell the truth of a story and have a character like that, I would have to understand where that character comes from, and I just don't. You know what I mean? So why would I want to inject that into a story that has nothing to do with it?
Right.
That's the first rule of writing is to write. The second rule is to take out what's not the story.
Mm-hmm.
If we had more writers that
third
had that
rule
kind
is
of
to add
conviction,
diversity, Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Come on.
Come on.
Man. We'd have
add diversity is number today. 3. Yeah, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I wish more writers had that conviction, you know, then we'd have less of the crap that we have today, you know, because, those characters are there, but there's nothing to them.
See, they don't just hate conservatives, man. They hate everybody. You could be the most lefty, and if you don't agree with the last thing they're pushing, they're going to cancel you. This is not just about left and right. And this is about a change in our system of what America and the free world stands for. I'm sorry. I usually don't want to push it this way, this far, but it is the goddamn truth. This is from decades of America's not good. Capitalism's bad. The father figure's an oppressor. You could do it yourself, girl. All this shit just added on. They don't want us to have families. They don't want us to be close. They don't want us to break bread with one another. They want me to hate my brother and my neighbor, and I am not going to do it. F you, Hollywood, and F you, whoever's pushing this goddamn message.
And not just that. It's in everything. I mean, Wizards of the Coast is going to release a new Dragonlance novel by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been so many shenanigans behind the scenes with rewrites and stuff. It's not going to be good. They're forcing them to write a story they didn't really want to write.
Right.
Terrible.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up because we've been going for over 2 hours. Make sure you subscribe for next Saturday. We always have a moving panel with amazing people like my good friend Mark and Tom and Mr. Grant Gregory, Jane Theory, Raging Rhino, Gary from Nerdrotic, Ryan from RK Outpost said he'll be in sometime in October. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers will never show up, but I try every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, Jeremy. I'm not giving up. There you
go.
I do. Every 2 weeks, I send a message to Krista. Krista Nova, right? That's how you say her name? I'm sorry. Krista, you're amazing. That is correct. Krista is amazing, and every 2 weeks she says, I'll look into it. And she really does. And he's even messaged me saying he likes my persistence.
Well, to be fair, tonight they had plans.
No, I know. I like just busting balls because notice me. I'm special. I'm a YouTuber's YouTuber. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. Mark, I love you, man. You got anything to push?
Well, we got 2 super chats as well. Just to let you know.
We do. I'm sorry. After Mark.
What was that? No, just come on by the channel. You know what's really fun? Going into my comment section. That's really fun. You know,
oh my God.
I invite a lot of conversation and different views, and they don't always come in nice, and I don't always reply nice. So, yeah.
I mean, your comment section is really weird. It's like clearly your name's not Tom, but everyone keeps calling you that. Like your name's in the title. Like I don't get it.
I know, and you're a dad. I mean, you might be an uncle, but you're a dad.
Uncle. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking jerks. Tetsu.
I think it's because he's being so like argumentative with people. They think he's me.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean,
that's all I can think of.
I've been calling everybody different names tonight. You could be. You never know.
Could be.
Oh, yeah.
Tatsunami for that type of $2. Yo, Spork panel in chat. It is always good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the $2. And your Muslim uncle for $2.99 super sticker. And that sticker was anybody? Beautiful thing. That's what I'm going to say.
It was.
It was gorgeous. Did we read all the super chats? We got everything?
I do believe so.
Okay. If I missed you, I'm really sorry. We don't get many, so I don't know how I can miss you.
That's a magic number.
Jack. Thank you for coming out tonight. Guys, everybody, Jack has 500 subscribers. There's 506. There's like 104 people in the chat right now. If you're not subscribed to Jack, let's show him the power of a fandom. Let's get him to 550 right now. Well, subscribe to me first, though. Subscribe to me first.
Yeah, I have a story coming out today or tomorrow. It's a Western called The Colonel and Sally about bounty hunters in West Texas. And then I'm going to be doing another fantasy story stream with my novel. The first part of my novel. There's going to be 4 or 5 episodes. They run about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then, but hey, if you come over, subscribe, and you listen to some of my stories, please leave comments, even if you don't like it, especially if you don't like it. He wants
that. Yeah, you want that, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to get better unless people tell me what's wrong with the story.
That's a beautiful thing. You actually have, you're not powder puff. Real quick, Tom's got to go. Tom, I love you, buddy. Later, bud. Yeah, Jack, you're not a cream puff, so you can actually take what it's called criticism constructively. Yeah.
Well, even harsh criticism, I don't mind it because that gives you a fire to get better, keep going. I've been writing since I was 3 years old. I made my mom teach me how to read the day after I saw Star Wars.
Right.
5 days before my 4th birthday. So that's why this fight is so important to me. I was willing to give up writing and fade into the background, and then they destroyed Star Wars. So, I mean, I'm not, with my views and the way I do things, I'm not going to bow down to people. I'm an Irishman from Texas.
Yeah.
There's no way. But
you're confused and lost and drunk. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. And so I want to I want to get my stuff out there. I'm going to do it myself. I'll put it on YouTube.
I love you, man. Congratulations, guys. Make sure you subscribe to him. His link is somewhere in the chat. I know Soul Assassin has it somewhere. And I will highlight it in the time it's at sometime, or put it back on. And our, let's see what we got here on my Twitch channel. If anybody ever checks it out, I have some people go there. Are you excited for the series? This was for the Lord of the Rings series. So we got 44% only going to watch other reviews. 40% hell nah. Gonna hate watch it 9%. Yeah, 5%. And you know what? I respect you 5% because I'm going to watch it, but I'm watching it so I can review it. But I also like to watch, like, not hate watch, train wreck watch, because I want it to be good. I would pray to God it would be good.
What really galls me is that I kind of have to have Amazon.
Yeah.
So
Amazon's not bad.
I know, but
they put out everything. Crap. So watch it.
Oh, by the way, I gotta say too, watch the Orville guys.
Oh God, this last episode, dude.
Like that last episode was freaking. Every episode has gotten better and better and better.
Can you agree with me on?
A lot of people are overlooking this show, man, and this is sci-fi gold right here.
Can I tell you, Mark? I am getting a lot of people that criticize it for being woke. I think it's the exact opposite. Even though Seth MacFarlane's woke as woke comes. You know, he donates a lot of money.
Perspectives now.
Yes,
you can see both perspectives in the show. So,
well,
you know,
there's never any easy answers.
Sometimes it's heavy-handed, sure, but he's got squeezed into this 10 episodes.
Yep.
So it's and they're very long episodes. That's very, you know, it just blows anything Disney's done since Disney Plus started.
Dude, this last episode was better than anything I've seen sci-fi wise in a very long time. It was perfection.
Still haven't seen the latest one yet.
And it was
dude, we won't talk about it. It was amazing. It was amazing. But what I was saying though is it's not a woke thing. The child, their child was transitioned from a girl into a boy at a baby without its knowledge. This child grew up feeling something different and decided, I want to go back to being a woman. That is not about trans, you know what I'm trying, trans rights.
It's a detransition.
It's nothing against both sides.
But you do, but what you're getting is, don't force something on a child until that child's old enough to understand. So you do get both sides. And I think it was perfect.
That whole storyline that I didn't like was their portrayal of Clyden, because Clyden throughout
Yes.
the entire series was an overprotective
Dad
father who
and-
cared more about the feelings for the kid than anything else. And then
Yes.
they threw that stupid ideology thing in there where he turns around and said, "I wish you weren't born," and it ruined that character. Sure, everything worked out better in the end for him,
Right.
you know, when he came back. But the whole point to
And-
go
but
that
that
route
just-
on that character did not make any sense, because his pure goal from
Everything
from
he
day
did
one
was
to
for his child.
was to protect the child from scrutiny, and you know, Clyden was a great
Yes.
father,
Yeah.
and then
Also,
for them to do
what-
that,
Also
I
went
didn't
through
like.
it. Yeah. What
What
Mark?
they didn't build upon was Clyden was himself born
Yes.
a girl.
I
Yes.
know, and it
Yeah.
was, and
You know,
he never,
and that's
he never
something
brought
that
that up
they-
again.
Yeah, I know. That's something that easily should have been a very heavy part of that storyline, you know, to motivate why he was the way he was,
Yes.
you know, towards
But
this
I
whole
do
thing.
think it's fair to say that Seth is trying to tell both sides of the story.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has
oh, yeah.
definitely woke parts, but like Kitty says here, he tries to give a center view. I am waiting till all episodes are out to binge it, so we won't go
You are
into any
in for a
further.
treat, my friend.
Dude,
You are
this
in for a
last
treat.
episode, I am still saying it. I'm watching it again. It was that exciting. That
I was very emotional.
oh
after that.
man, it was so freaking
Dude,
good. And
the time travel episode.
yeah, that was
another-
amazing.
oh my
Dude,
God,
I,
man.
I hated the resolution in that with a
I did too,
passion.
because it was just like oh shucks.
But it
But
was you were supposed
No,
to.
the,
yes,
the,
You were
the
supposed to
implication
hate it.
of it, like
I'm
the
still
Oh,
not
I do
convinced
too,
that,
dude.
I'm still not convinced that's been resolved though.
Me
Somehow, I think we're gonna get this revisited
See,
somehow.
alternate
here's the
universe.
thing. Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. There's a route that they can go instead of, because they said that they weren't going to do mirrorverse type that sort of thing, but they were going to have something to do with some sort of time or space. If that version of Scott Grimes' character comes back later on seeking revenge for the essentially
Oh.
the erasure of the thing, that would be a perfect arc with it.
Oh my God, it would.
Absolutely.
All right, let's
No,
stop
there's
talking
a-
about it because we don't want to ruin it for other people. Just leave it very vague if we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. All right, we got to get going. I got to work in the morning. I love you guys. Next week, I might have somebody else running the show because date night. But after, I might be on Snowdub's channel. He's been offering, and I've known Snowdub for 3 years now. Never been on his channel with OrdsBored. So I might be doing that for the hell of it. I like Muppets. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We've gained like 14 or 15 today. Thank you so much. This is becoming so much fun. Thank you guys. Making my Saturday nights so much fun. I love you. Jane, you better be here next week. Culture, whatever. We'll see you when we see you. Because he never updates my new subscriber one. So I'm going to end it with a different subscriber one because it's fun. Hold on. Where is it? It's the one Mr. Grant Gregory made, and it's awesome. This is for our Monday show that talks about aliens and conspiracies and things like that. So come see us back on Monday. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.
Right.